All right, welcome to the stream. This is episode 1 of Thorn in the World. We're going to be beginning very, very shortly in the next minute, two at most. So get ready for a ride. If you don't know about the mouth that feeds, it is a tower with near endless floors. And our characters will be diving into the mouth that feeds in order to find a particular creature that must be destroyed. But over the course of their adventures, they would face things large and small, dark and never good, and hopefully they will overcome all of them, or they will be overcame. Now, with that said, tonight we have a few people playing, and from left to right, please briefly introduce your characters, how they look, your name. Like, for example, hi, I'm Falcon. I'm playing all the bad guys tonight, like always. We'll start how your names are in game. So if you look in game, we have Odie, Mozart, Lilith, Sildor, Taraji. So Odie, why don't you go ahead, tell us about your character, and I'll blow up your token on the screen.
All right, very excited to be starting and playing here tonight in Thorn of the World. I am Odie, a custom gird blade. It's a custom class, unique to Falcon's Frontier, Artificer. He is a thrall, which is a race of humanoids, which at one time, at some different point in time, they may have been born human, orc, elf, but because of an event some time ago, the offspring of those affected by mind flayers were cursed to have ephemerally good looks, I know, truly a curse, as well as no relation, physical or otherwise, to their parents. In their stead, they wear a mask and reminiscence of what was lost or taken from them. And he wanders these lands as part arbitrator, part advocate for the relics of those that once invaded our world, as converse to his nature that may seem.
All right, thank you very much, Odie. I'm looking forward to diving into this trial. Next up is Mozart.
All right. Hi, I'm Cake. I'm playing Mozart. He is an Earth Runeborn, which in this world is similar to an Earth Genasi. He's a very well-dressed, kind of a fancy individual. He can be very deadly serious, but if you become friends with him, you'll see he's very lighthearted and just kind of a big sweetie. He is a paladin, Oath of Watchers, and he is essentially the conduit of all movement on the battlefield.
Another excellent introduction. Thank you very much, Cake. Next, we have Lilith.
Hello there, my name is Vissian, and tonight I will be playing Lilith Mona. She is a archivist that lives a little bit closer to the mouth that feeds, whose main purpose is to archive the various mouthers that come out of the mouth that feeds, in order to use those stories against them, a way to make the job of the Rune Warriors that much easier by limiting their power. She tends to work more as a mercenary, like the rest of her family, bouncing between various Rune Warrior groups to gather as many stories as possible.
All right, another great introduction. Thank you very much, Vizian. And Sildor.
Yo, it's your boy Akula again, back at you. I'm playing Sildor. He is a zealot barbarian. He doesn't follow a religion, but more of a creed that he strictly adheres to. He is going to be up in there, and if he's not up in there, he's going to find a way to get up in there as quickly as possible. He's spent most of his adult life hunting for a shard of the light rune, which is ironic, given he's a shadow rune. And he's going to dive into a place of shadow to see if he can't find the little light that's left in there.
Excellent. Thank you, Akula. Last but not least, Taraji.
I'm average. I'm playing Taraji. She's an elf of the light rune persuasion. Essentially, she is a bit of a wonder herself. Not so much a warrior, but she guides people with her light. and she will see to it that ours is not buried as we descend into darkness.
Excellent.
Oh, and she's a divine sorcerer.
Divine
This will
sorcerer.
think she's a druid the longer she talks. So
There we go. This is tonight's cast as we venture into the mouth that feeds in Thorn in the world. So, several days ago, all of you assembled in the Fairland. Take you to the world map so you can see what I'm talking about. Many of you came from different reaches of this world. Perhaps Mozark, deep in the crags, and even Taraji, somewhere in the sand. The rest of you from various places, whether it's Moth, Morn, or Icarus. In any case, you all assembled to the Fairlands as an outcry for help reached each of your ears. A story of a mother that refuses to die, refuses to be imprisoned in the mouth that feeds. A place where creatures once sent can never be free for many, many years. Most of the time, longer than we naturally live. But one such creature has escaped time and time again, almost instantaneously. And so, rune warriors from around the globe gathered at the Fairlands, loaded onto Clamdor's massive flying vessel, the first flying vessel to ever be designed in this world, at least for its size, and are currently in this airship, traveling over the crossroads towards the mouth that feeds, where court, or at least the mission details, are in session. As you all sit in this room, there's a lot of chatter. You can find yourselves on this table here. Creatures from around the world, maybe from reaches you've never even heard of, have assembled. In front of you, the Elementar, a creature that typically does not make himself easily accessible, presents himself. Warriors of Elder Earth, thank you for gathering this day. I understand there are many concerns, and we're going to cover all of them. And he looks to Aria. I guess I'm up. As many of you know, there is a creature, Malthus. Some would say it is our purpose to put them back into the feed. And while I might not be a warrior myself, we all have a part to play in this. Turn your attention to the board above. You can see a magnificent board. An illusion floating on the ceiling as each of you look up. This here is a threat that we must vanquish. A foul creature, a dark creature, Malthus. One creature with many heads, many different minds, personalities, but still one being. They call it the Seventh Sister, or Seven Sisters. She's a large Hydra hag, skilled with magic up to the 7th Arcana. Oh, she's a capable warrior too, able to rip you to pieces with her bare hands and teeth. Every time she's been defeated in the recent history, she's found her way back out again. And so y'all gonna go in there and finally put her down for good. Because as you know, Rune Warriors, or perhaps some of you don't, the only way to kill a Rune Warrior forever is to kill him in the mouth that feeds. But therein lies the problem. Yes, you see, the Elementar whispers something to Twin. Yes, the mouth that feeds is a prison for the Malthus. So normally they shouldn't be able to escape, but she's able to break out in only a few days. So we're doing what we must, going into a place that will be dangerous, will be hostile, will be filled with these creatures, because we have to. And then she looks down the board, and all these guys just kind of nod, and there's chatter. People like, you knew you were going to the mouth of feeds. You weren't entirely sure why. But there's concern in the room. And before I get back to the meeting, maybe some of you are stressing your own concerns. So let's take a moment to hear some of the general chatter the players are having before we continue this little session. Any of you can begin. Let's see. I'll call on a name. The leader of the group. Or Mozart, go ahead.
Mozart is going to be trying to listen, and this big elephant person who's in front of them is he's just trying to get a good view. And he'll have scooted over a little bit next to Lilith and say, sorry. I'm just trying to get a good view here.
No worries, dearie. I can't say I've heard any stories of such mouthers before.
Have you fought a mouther like that before?
Can't say I have. There are many mouthers I've encountered over the years, but not quite one like this.
Yeah, something with that many heads and something as sinister as that. It doesn't mean that it's not going to live in this world that long, that's for sure.
Suppose I'll leave you to. A pleasure to meet you, Lilith Mona. And she gives a slight bow.
I hear we're going to be teammates together, and if there's one thing, he looks at you, he's deadly serious, and says, if there's one thing that you should know about me, is I have the most. And I'll pull out this photo of a little baby boy. He's like a little baby Earth rune, about 3 years old, and he's playing with he's playing in a box with all of my stuff. He's like, oh, this is baby Bakar. He's adorable. Don't worry, you'll see a lot more photos. I just got a whole batch of photos from my wife from back home.
Oh, that's lovely, dearie. And she seems to just be nodding her head, playing along.
He'll go back to look at the photo a little bit, and then fold it and kind of put it, next to where his heart would be, and then focus into what's happening.
You seem to be a great father.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's easy to be a great father when you have the best kid in the world,
Indeed. It's not exactly a life I can exactly imagine too well, but I suppose it would be amazing based on what I've seen.
I'll tell you one thing. He goes back to being pretty serious. I'll tell you one thing. No matter what horrors and things that we see in our duty to just send these mouthers back to where they came from and permanently kill them, the one thing that always will bring you joy is the laughter of your child.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right, and Sildor, as you see the two of them talking, you don't have to engage them, but if you don't, what's your headspace right now? What are you doing? Are you talking to Swarm? What's going on with Sildor at this moment?
Sildor's eager to get on with it, although he isn't saying anything. He's got his arms crossed, and he's kind of, I don't know what you call that, when you tap your fingers on a table. He's doing that on his arm, and he's tapping his foot. A lot of fidgeting, which I'm sure might upset some people with how much he's moving but not moving.
Cut it out, Sildor.
Listen, I just need somewhere to go, and we need to get there fast.
You're in a rush to die. We Atlanteans want to live life, cherish life.
If you're that scared, then you shouldn't have stepped foot on the ship.
Please. I'm here just like you, prepared. but I'm in no rush to get to the mouth that feeds. I'm gonna enjoy the air I breathe before it goes stiff.
I've got somewhere to be, someone to meet, and she's got 7 heads.
Let's not bring your mother into the conversation.
You sure talk a lot.
I'll back it up too. That's enough, boys. Orchard. Save your strings for the 7 sisters. So I'm looking at you, Sildor. Listen, I don't like you. But when we're in there, we watch each other's back. Can we at least agree to that?
Of course.
God. He slaps a fish on the table in front of you. Lunch.
I'll pass.
It's still flapping. He grabs it, just kind of turns its head, chops it off. Tasty. Hopefully we're not the fish. And yeah. OD, what are you doing?
Odie sits serene within this courtroom, a familiar battlefield, although this one is much more grand. And the ones that stand and stare and witness are of a different caliber than normal. He contemplates the situation, a Malder that can escape from their sentence within only a couple days, a contrivance, an overturning of causality. Even original sins are bound by the laws of this world, of the land, only permitted to play upon the board that Alpha Zion struck long ago. If the 7 sisters can escape so easily, what does that mean of other Melders? Should those that even dwell in the deepest depths learn this same secret? Will the peace that he's been trying to achieve be so easily toppled? He looks down at his papers, his expression unreadable behind his mask, and grips the table slightly, but remains still, statuesque.
When you remain still, you could see there's like some giggles behind you. Nina and the other Tangle, they're young warriors. They haven't made a big name for themselves, but they're popular with the youth and other people. They go by the Tangled, which right now is what they're claiming, but maybe one day the world will recognize them. You see one of them in the back, Lewis. He is Minerva's practically in his lap, and they're just having a good old time. And how about you, Taraji?
Taraji is sitting at her seat, and just from we'll say from Odie's perspective, if he were to look over in her direction, essentially what he would see, however he sees, looking at him, she's almost spacing out. She doesn't look, maybe a little perturbed, but nothing too she doesn't appear frightened, I would say, but she's taking in the information. And as you look at her, her hair is technically black, but something about the aura around her, there's a slight glow to her body. So her hair is there's this tranquil blue coming off of her hair. The different markings on her arms and face and all over her body are essentially giving off a soft glow that kind of it's almost like breathing. It lights, then it darkens, just at a consistent rate. As he just kind of stares off at the presentation and just almost in the distance.
Excellent. You didn't know that Ordeal has a similar situation. He walks over to you. The soothing sands under the scorching sun, daughter of the Yellow Sea. Are you from the tribe near the Serpent's Trail?
She snaps out of her almost her trance, and then the glow becomes more present. It doesn't fade out, as she's actually in the moment now. She'll look up to him. do you know that?
How we present ourselves, our tattoos, paint, the colors, they have a message, a story, just like a book. And I've read some of yours, but only the surface. I look forward to serving and fighting alongside you in this nightmarish realm we shall soon find ourselves.
Oh, you. She kind of sighs and as she like looks at him. We are the same, but so different. You are a warrior in the garden. I'm a gardener in a war.
This is true. And yet today, we both were summoned because both sides of the coin matter. Even if when you flip it, it may be a different head. It is still the coin.
Yes. And she'll just nod as he returns to his seat.
All right. Yeah, he goes back and he's standing. You know that he came from Mother Nature, because you know that Mother Nature's personal guards are in fact the Phantom Warriors, which is spelled with the short, removing the ELE of the elephant, so it's Phantom Warriors, not the traditional Phantom. But they all serve Mother Nature and protect her province and stuff like that. In any case, as you all get a moment to speak, you could see that we go back to this session. There's a lot of the in-between, the stuff that doesn't matter as much. Like they talked about the pay and everything that you guys already know. Just to go over it one more time, that you will be paid for this. You'll have this afforded to you, equipment. Your families will be taken care of if something happens to you, all that stuff. Back to the meeting, you see that the Elementar Everleaf takes back the floor. All right, everyone. Give us a moment. There's one among us more valuable than any of us in regards to our knowledge of the mouth that feeds. One who was its prisoner for thousands of years. One who has taken the lives of Rune Warriors and been equally scarred by them. One of the greater 12s, one of the original sins, Sour Jin. And there's lots of whispers and chanter, and there's some people who are really not a big fan of Sour Jin, and there's others who think he's redeeming himself. The Sour Jin stands forward, looks around the room. I know all of you have opinions of me. I was once a great betrayer, but ever since I have been freed, I strengthened Atlantis. The kingdom, once sunken deep into the sea, is now strong, formidable, recognized by all the world's powers, and they are safe because of me. I have been out for some 15, 20 years, and not one life, save for the monstrosities that threatened my people, have I taken. Now I stand before you as someone who can give you an insight to the darkness of the mouth that feeds, an insight to the chaos. The mouth that feeds has well over 300 floors. I've charted most of them. And even then, I wonder if I've seen them all. It's impossible for this creature to escape, and yet here we are. I do not know what this means, but I do know the dangers you will face. And he goes on to cover some of the dangers, stressing that whether you have dark vision, devil sight, or in between, it doesn't matter. Everyone sees equally. You either have candlelight or a natural light source that's born there, or you don't have light at all. He tells you that some mouthers will not fight you. You should probably let those mouthers live, even if it's our task to defeat them. Because if you don't, you're going to waste resources, soldiers, troops. If a mouther doesn't want to fight you because he knows that he's going to be killed forever, for the purpose of what we have to accomplish, probably just let it live. And then he asks if there's questions. And there's dozens of questions, but we're going to focus on the players' questions as we're going to assume others asked them and they're just seen off screen. Let me quickly refresh, and if you have questions, go ahead and let me know.
Do we know what floor we'll be on?
No. Once you
That
get to the
wasn't very
mouth that
helpful.
feeds, the main entrance, there are going to be 7 segments. Each of them can take you to a different floor, but the floors that you're taken to are random.
If that's the case, how will the team stay together?
They won't. That is why you all going to be together. As long as you're on the same segment, you'll all be brought to the same random floor. We're all going to be on a different segment in our respective squads to try to find the hag among the 300 floors.
A divide and conquer strategy, is it?
Precisely.
Mozart isn't going to say it, but in his mind, he looks around and he sees all of the people in this room. He even looks at Lilith and Taraji and Orchid and Master Zuru over there, and just thinking like, this is a lot of people for one mouther. This is a big. If he knows the dangers of what's in there, and there's a bit of, he actually gets a little nervous, not for his own life, but for the loss of all the people around him that will probably die.
Am I thinking that one of the people asked? Even if we do defeat them, how will we communicate with each other? From what I understand, no one has ever been able to use divination magic. You see into the mouth that feeds. Does it work while you're already inside it? Each of you will be given a special crest, crafted by me. When that crest breaks, the hag is slain. Do everything in your power to escape the mouth that feeds. But there's no one coming in to save you. You are the rescuers. You get in there, you eliminate the hag, and if you don't eliminate the hag and the crest breaks, it is time to find a way out.
Will we all have our own individual crests?
Yes, the crest that each of you will be given to your leader. At the appropriate times, it will break into the segments equal to the number of people in that party. Each segment will be about the size of a coin. When that coin crumbles, it means that someone has found the hag. Someone has found the Seven Sister and killed her forever. Then it'll be your job to escape the mouth that feeds or die within its limits.
Mozart will just look over to Odie and say, hey, Odie, just make sure you don't leave me, all right?
Affirmative.
Are there any other questions for Sourjin, a creature who survived in this harsh tower for thousands of years? Of course, back then he was among the monsters, so it wasn't like he really was surviving. He was just living.
Are there any reports of those who have slayed the Hydra hag above the surface and banished her back? Her capabilities?
Yes.
Her powers.
And he directs your attention to Daisho Damon. Daisho stands up. Here's his art.
Nice.
I have fought this Hydra. She was able to cast magic of 7th Arcana or lower. Flinging magic missiles, each of her heads would launch a single one. When I got into a fight with her, into melee, which is what I prefer, her heads were tenacious. I would cut them off and they would instantly grow back. I'm not talking 6 seconds. I'm not talking 1 or 2, but instantaneously. I would be cutting through one, and before my blade finishes, the Hydra's head was reformed. It took everything I could do, including summoning the most strengths of my rune powers, to slay the Seven Sisters. And to find out that she escaped 2 days later and devoured an entire village? I don't care what it cost. She must be dealt with. Do you have any specific questions, just in case that wasn't enough for you? Because he's one of the people who defeated Seven Sisters.
From the sounds of things, it sounds like she typically acts alone. Does she typically also employ any minions, summons, or familiars?
When I fought her, it was just herself. But of course, you could argue that her 7 heads, each skilled with minds of their own, are her darklings or her allies. I noticed that each one of them came up with unique strategies, and that if I did not defeat the 7 sisters fast, eventually she would have figured me out.
And what exactly did you do to kill her?
I kept cutting her heads off until eventually they stopped growing back. I think I cut off almost 300 heads. Of course, I had my team here. Raz jumps onto the table. Yeah, he had me. Murder Mole. That's not the name we're going with, Raz. All right, it's Raz Jowsy. You can just call me Jowsy.
Is there no better way than brute force?
Sloot talks up. Unfortunately, it's a Malda. Gotta defeat them somehow. We try to contain her. She's a caster. She just teleports. And he's also a part of that squad, which you guys know as Spectral Sloot. He does fire magic, but his fire magic typically does psychic damage. But unless you resist both fire and psychic, he will always be able to burn you. And then you hear Chitin Blade. And the next time, it was actually us who discovered her. He speaks like that when he says us, he just means him. She was too much for me to handle. But luckily, I was nearby a main city. And Nex Machra helped me out. See all these warriors coming into this room, each with a story of their own. And you know that he has the secret art beast imitation, which is exclusive to the Earth Rune. So he could fight, act, and do most of what certain series of insects can do. Now there's different bugs-like forms. He surrounds primarily the beetle. And now for Matra, you do know that the title of Matra is given to people who are potential leaders of the Githyanki people. Which the Thralls, OD, may have problems with because the Githyanki and the Thralls have always been at each other's throat. The Githyanki still firmly believe that all the Thralls should have been slain in the old war. So of course she may not have that same belief, but it is heavily held by their people. Are there any other questions for Squad 2? You guys are Squad 1, Sour Gin, or the court in session?
You mentioned before that it's going to be hard to see in there. We know this, but what are ways that we can combat that?
Sour Gin takes the floor, being the only person to truly know the mouth that feeds personally. I've used my knowledge over the years to craft candles. Each of you are going to have one. Some of the floors in the mouth that feeds have natural lights on it, whether it's glowing plants or even creatures themselves that can illuminate through the darkness. You should know that it's not a conventional darkness. That's why Devil Sight and other stuff doesn't work. It is more like a fog, more like obscurity, a smoke that constantly billows. But for the creatures that live there, as I once was, it does not affect us at all. We can see perfectly in there, giving us a massive advantage. These candles, when struck, will shine about 30 feet bright and another 30 feet about dim. And what it's doing is it's pushing back this layer of dust. And then it gets weaker the further the light expands. Those will expire in 1 hour. So I suggest you use them sparingly or you will be in there blind. Whenever you find a natural life source, you make sure you're preserving those candles because once they're lit, they burn for their full duration or expire. Are there any more
Seven
questions?
Hacks
Right.
is a worthy quarry. However, they are not the only or even greatest among the Mouthers. Are any of the other original sins currently active within the levels we're expected to be sent to?
Yes, the original Mounders or the original sins as they're referred to, my brothers and sisters, even now, though we are enemies, they do patrol the floors. Typically, they stay to their own floors, which is why the crest and most of the groups are 6 people, though unfortunately your group is 5. The crests have the symbols of the original sins. We've prioritized groups of 5 to not have my symbol since I no longer operate in the mouth that feeds. If you get to a floor that has the symbol on your crest, you are in an original sins territory. You should be very careful. I would assume, or rather encourage, you to retreat from that level, if possible. You see, the Hydra Hag draws too much attention. It's doubtful any of the original sins want an expedition to come in there to challenge them. And I don't think we should challenge them. Even with our numbers, we probably wouldn't win. In any case, yes, they are operational, and they will sometimes move floor to floor. There are also creatures called jailers. If you do not have to defeat a jailer, do not defeat them. Jailers help keep the mouth that feeds creatures in the mouth that feeds, but they are also unbiased. Anything on the floor they will prevent from leaving the mouth that feeds. So if you find one and they do not engage you, move past, find another way out, because the moment you try to leave, they will stop you. Are there any more questions?
How did you do it? All those years. Your mind. How?
The room, for the first time, despite being full of whispers and chatter, was quiet. Everyone wants to know how he could be, quite literally, a god. One of the first 12 creatures ever made by Alpha Zion, who made the whole world, who turned evil, much like above game Lucifer falling from the heavens. Saurajin was deemed the devil, one of 6. But he's here, and he's good? Question mark. So the room goes quiet, and he says, when I reached into the water rune and I stole its power, I had evil, foul intent, a desire to manipulate this strength, to raise out my mouthers that work for me back into the world, to take over Atlantis and rule as kings of the deep, and to drown and submerge the rest of the world below the sea. I had such a strong desire to do this. But when I was freed from my curse, it all changed. I felt the misery, the hatred, the darkness. I felt the betrayal I gave Alpha Zion. And over time, it was clear. I'm in charge again, not what I became. And I didn't want that. And so here I am. There's whispers. People still don't trust him. But he has been out for about 20 years and he hasn't really caused any problems. In fact, he's helped a lot. Any more questions before we wrap up the meeting with the Elemental Army, as you all are known, a collective from many regions to fight against the mouth that feeds this day? Excellent. The Elementar stands. We're only a few hours away from the mouth that feeds. Even though all of you have a duty that you've sworn yourselves into, these halls and many others, I will not have you march to your own deaths unwillingly. When we touch down, the army, those who are willing to fight, will exit Glamdor's airship. Those of you who want to go back to your families, be with your wives, husbands, your children. to live, not go into the mouth that feeds, there will be no repercussions. You will not be a deserter. But once you step off the airship and it leaves, there's no turning back. Think about that. We'll be arriving in 6 hours. And he puts down like the judge thing, even though it wasn't like a court session. It says adjourned. And the floor is yours to interact with each other or to anyone else in here. And right before we get there, we'll take a break here very soon. So go ahead. Do you want to engage any NPCs? Do you really want to get together, talk? What are you guys doing? And shit, any of you guys dropping out of the miniseries? Yeah, I'm gonna go home.
I think I'm out of here, actually. You guys have
This shit ain't worth it, bro. I was kind of feeling confident, but everybody's talking about how shitty the mouth of feeds is, so.
Yeah. I guess we'll talk as a group first, and then.
Yeah.
Is that
Mhm.
okay? I guess we'll just like huddle at the table here.
The
Essentially,
mentors.
we were. I'm sorry. We were already told we were in a group, though, right? The
Mhm.
5 of us.
Correct. The 5 of you in a group with OD being your party's leader. He also has the crest, which he might disperse now. Each of them bear a symbol of the original sin, which you can find in the Pantheon. One of the 5 among them is there. They're obviously removing Sourgen's own symbol.
Say, oh, Captain, my captain. This sounds like it's going to be a fun adventure, huh?
It's going to be an adventure of sorts. I won't force you to take these coins. Their weight belies their size, but I'll be more than happy to have any of you join me. Though we have crossed paths seldom times in a few, and sometimes not always as allies, I do trust each of your strengths and your capabilities. If I am going to go into the mouth that feeds, which I am, I would think of no others which I'd rather have by my side. And he holds his palms out open, with 4 coins arrayed around, ready for the taking.
I mean, if we're being honest, I'd rather go in with the big giant guy holding lightning bolts.
Why don't you try asking him?
Just you wait, my friend. Just you wait.
Taraji will gingerly like take one of the coins out of OD's palm. I see why you are the leader.
Why is that?
Well, to put it bluntly, you seem to have your shit together.
If that is what it takes to get through this, then yes, I have my shittery together. Is that the expression? It's hard to tell if he's making a joke under the helmet, but you think
I
he's
like
serious
that
enough.
one better. We'll go with shittery.
It shall do.
Mozart will definitely take it.
Which symbol are you guys taking? I would have naturally drawn to the crest of their pantheons. Anorak, the spider symbol. Givaudan, the wolf. Anon, the demon. Zabimaru, the ape. Orgazel, the peacock.
I would take Vorgazel.
Excellent. So you have the Vorgazel crest, the one who handles all the laws in the mouth that feeds.
I think you said Kanan is the demon, but Zabimaru is a monkey.
Zabimaru is a monkey, but even though he's not a demon, he is known to be the worst of them all.
You know I'm going for the ape. Let's go.
All right, you are getting the crest of Zabimaru. Of the 12 greater beings, the first beings made in all the world, it was Zabimaru who convinced 6 of the graders to betray Alpazion, which killed the other 6 that later turned into the very runes that empower all of you, or they were banished to the mouth that feeds to suffer forever. And he represents the light rune. It's not always the darkness that evil begins. How about you, Lilith? Which one of these symbols will you be taking?
Lilith steps forward and places her hand on the Anorak crest. The Mona family's purpose is to archive as many of the mouths as possible. I believe this to be the best opportunity to do that. What better place than their home, after all?
Anorak surrounds lying in deceit. Like an insect, crawls everywhere. And similar to Sourjins, he had escaped in the past. But thanks to Palm, Mother Nature, and a few others, she was defeated, not directly, sent back to the mouth that feeds. And you should be careful if you find her. There are many spies. Even the worms mulling around in the dirt are her eyes. You have Anorak's symbol, the spider. Now there are 2 of you who've yet to pick a symbol. There are 2 symbols that remain.
Why don't you pick one later?
I'm the hand that offers, not the hand that takes.
Is that a no?
I won't force you to take or accept this duty.
I just thought you might like one better than the other.
You know, the color of Givaudoon's eyes is quite pretty, but I'll leave it up to you. Kanan does have that swarthy appeal about him. He says completely dry. You don't think he can make inflections in his voice?
You're being very indecisive for a leader.
I'm simply presenting options and my opinion.
Fine. He'll reach out and take the Kanan.
All right, Kanan, the dark. There were 2 dark rune creatures created, and Kanan is the original sin. This creature is known little, at least among the rest. We do know that he hoards minions, and that among all of the original sins, has the largest army. They say that when you see him, he never looks the same twice. You'll never ever actually see him in any particular form more than once. Of course, that's just for your eyes, because in the accounts in the past of seeing the original sin just a glimpse, 2 people at the same time saw 2 different things. You have the mystery of the shadows, what it does when the lights are turned off. Canon, the original sin. Finally, staring down at the crest, OD, you have the fire creature. Some say he's a Cerberus with 3 heads, despite his crest being 1. Others say that he has insatiable need for violence, and that much like the volcano that the Troll City is kept, that if you find this creature, he will erupt. He will eat you. Unlike the others, he is the least mentally stable, most akin to a beast or a wild animal. While you may be able to conversate with the other original sins, it is unlikely you can conversate Givaudoon. Be careful, tread lightly, and remember, fire may be used by the Rune Warriors, but it will burn.
We are of court then. He closes his palm on the coin that remains in his hand. And in 6 hours, we'll be entering the very place where these beings call home. Hopefully, we do not meet them, and we instead meet these sisters. Either way, though, I hope that you all have ample time to prepare.
I was ready the second I stepped on board.
Lily gives a nod and Starts gathering her tome off of the table along with the pen. I'll be sure to collect as many stories as I can. Not sure which one will come in handy, after all.
How do you mean? Do you use your stories for your magic?
Ah, yes, it is one of the arts of the Mona family. You see, we collect various tales regarding the Mouthers, how they were defeated, the places that they attempted to destroy, places they have managed to destroy, and use whatever knowledge I can in order to weave various tales. Every word as powerful as possible, so that they can weaken the creatures that we face.
Well, when
Roger
you
just
tell
nods to that.
when you tell the story about me, make sure you get my good side. And he'll point to his left side. That's his skin is stone, but it's incredibly smooth and very beautiful.
I'll be sure to include as much as I can, darling.
Thanks, Lilith.
Are you talking? Appear right behind Sildor, almost out of nowhere. Is Jowsy. Jumps down to the table and she goes, "Ooh, ooh, you look cool."
And you look weird.
Oh, I like that. I love when people tell me I look weird. Tell me more.
You don't just look fucking weird, you are weird.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, not in a public place. Oh, they'll arrest us.
I find it weird that the Shadow Man is saying all of this.
He gets
I
it.
look fucking cool.
You gotta admit, he does look pretty cool.
What's weird?
So our groups are going to be relatively close. We're going to go down the same pillars. Maybe we'll be on the same floor. As Slutus, he kind of leans over on the table. You should tell us about some of your capabilities so that we can better service each other in the heat of combat. Yes, I'm always in the heat of combat. He smiles at Sildor.
Does she have anything better to do?
Oh, trust me. This is good. As far worse. Drowsy. Ah, Daddy's calling. She runs back to Damon. All I'm saying is we should get known with what we can do in fights. I use a blade that can cut at any distance. She gives you the rundown for Rune Power's Silver Veil. That once she swings her blade, about as effective as a longbow. She can cut down anyone, any distance. The Sloot tells you, of course, my fires can erase people from existence. And if I do harm a creature, I can even rewrite their memories. And I'm the coolest of them all, Chitan Blade. We are a beetle. And he spits a tiny little spew of acid in the air and then catches it back in his mouth. Shit burns.
Did you just spit a loogie and swallow it back?
If you open your mouth, I'll spit it into your mouth.
Oh, please.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Just kidding, it'll kill you. It's acid, it'll burn your throat.
That was not the point.
Actually, I did it to Jowsy once, but she, it's the first time I've seen her not want to do something ever again.
Well, if you must know, and Taraji will walk forward. So the very moment that Sleuth started speaking and he came to the table, everything but him has pretty much fallen away. And Sheila just walks maybe 5 feet away from him. Full just in his face.
And now be there.
I can put a light in your heart. Can you put the fire in mine.
Oh, it seems like your team has a Jowsy as well. Are you asking me for marriage or just a night? We've got 4 hours to kill. I'll only need one of them.
More like
Nothing we
7
need to
minutes.
even remember.
Yes, you can give me the light. I can give you the fire. Anytime.
Yeah, you see the markings on her on her body just like bright, like extremely like bright and at the glow.
See, actually, like his cheeks get red. Oh, after you're all serious, it's like a half step back. In any case, gotta believe I'll be looking out for you back there.
Yes, and then there's like no light at all as she's like suddenly embarrassed seeing everyone else around.
And then you see Jowsy is actually like a bird nested on his head. No, keep going, keep talking.
No, I'm done.
And Damon walks over to OD, kind of circling past you, because of course our tokens take up 5 feet, but imagine we were really actually 5 feet wide. Anyways, he walks
Mozart
over.
is.
Yeah, Mozart is actually 5
He
feet
takes
wide.
up all that space.
Walking square.
He's like a Minecraft like block wide.
It's a whole like Roblox character like that.
No, but Damon walks over to OD and says, "We're the leaders of our gangs. Are you trained with this group? Mine was already pre-established, but it looks like you're working under new people. Are you confident?"
We have crossed paths many times before, sometimes as allies, sometimes as enemies. Each and every encounter with them, they have proved their abilities time and time again. Although we do not have the long relationship that you may have with your team, I trust them all the same.
He's about to say something. "Sorry to intrude. The name is Gale Twinheart. I'm ever at your service. I'm actually going around to make sure everyone got everything they need. Please, one at a time, I would like to speak with each of you very, very, very briefly." Damon looks to you, OD. "It seems like duty already calls. I'll see you on the inside."
Of course.
It's gonna be really awkward when you
Yeah.
guys see each other again in like 10 minutes. He says, "No, later." But Gale would talk to each of you, and when he does, he gives each of you 3 potions of greater healing. So all the characters tonight should add 3 potions of greater healing to their character sheets.
Wow.
It's
It's that bad, huh, Falcon?
Well,
we never
That was
get
my
down.
only takeaway from that.
well. So he gives you 3 potions of greater healings, and what?
I do have one question.
Sure.
I do know we got gold. How much do greater potions of healing cost?
Greater potions of healings typically run for about 350. Regular potions about 125 in the Elder Earth verse.
I'll just get another one.
So you got 4 potions of greater healing. Anyone else could dump their coin for a 4th, or if you want to spend your gold, Twinheart is actually managing the treasury/equipment sect of the airship. So if you wanted to get it better armor or maybe another weapon, you should talk to him. Also, you can get any item from Xanathars that's common for 500 gold pieces. That is the rate that Twinheart will service you. Something to consider. On that note, why don't we go ahead and take a break? When we resume, if you had shopped for something in the Xanathars, then we'll say you got it. And when we return, we'll also not be on this map. So go ahead and look at it one more time. Get that nostalgia from the NPCs of Metal Rain. And get ready to go into the mouth that feeds. When we return, the airship will be landed. And we will be on feet the rest of the way.
You said
On
you
foot.
said this Lewis is like super smiley and
Unbroken.
Yeah.
Can you just give me a little more?
So I'll give you a little more. Who's texting me this time?
I'll say like while we were all talking, I'll just kind of look at the Young Buck team and see what I can kind of get from them.
So I could describe it what I believe a younger Lewis to be, which I know is not as hardened and as distraught as the current one. based on the backstory. But while we have the player busy, and why don't you dip briefly into what Lewis will be doing with Minerva and his gang, and give us a little insight to his personalities. If you want to interact with an NPC, I am game to improv.
All right, sounds good. Currently, from the looks of it, it seems like Lewis just has an arm around Minerva, just like rubbing the back of his head apologetically toward Nina, as she seems to just be scolding him for being like a little bit too openly affectionate in the middle of a meeting.
You smile.
I'm sorry.
Don't forget, we're here for a mission. We have plenty of time to do other things later, Louis.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so cute, so cute, so cute, so cute. Everyone focus, please. I'll keep us alive on the inside, but let's not forget what we're here for. Oh, relax, Claire. We're gonna be all right. We're with Louis. Did you see him take down that mountain the other day? Soon everyone's gonna be speaking the Tangled name. And he's always gonna be with us forever. That's our leader. And they're all in agreement that Louis will never abandon them.
Come on, you don't need to work me up that much. I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys know that, right?
Ooh, he's right, he's right. And that is a little scene to dip into the past or your satisfaction for whenever you return to the future. That is Lewis and the Tangled. Anything else the rest of you would like to do before we go ahead and venture on a 10-minute break? We start walking in the sands and forest mouth that feeds. Going once, going twice. All right, I hope you guys are enjoying this episode of the first episode of Thorn in the World. When we get back, we're gonna touch down. We're gonna have a badass speech from Sildor, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna fuck the mouth that feeds up, or get fucked up. We'll see you all in 10 minutes.
Phrasing.
right, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We're picking up with the airship dropping off our soldiers of the elemental army down onto, well, the border to where the mouth that feeds is, and move the characters there now. When we get there, let me know if you guys have vision.
All good.
We do.
Excellent. Hopefully this map doesn't crash you. It's a big map. So as you all land on the airship, the Elementar reminds you, who unfortunately, and many of you know why, isn't able to go into the mouth that feeds. Because of the eternal wound he suffers. There'll be a loss guaranteed. So he tells you, if anyone is staying behind with me now on the airship, and you could feel it in his voice. He wishes so bad he could use this almost unlimited power he has. Please, now's your chance to remain. You will not be punished. And you see, we lose about 50 of the rune soldiers, which will be represented to keep initiative faster. But as about 70 more start to leave, you see Mother Nature step forward. Sildor, she lifts her hands up and she booms a modified thaumaturgy to your throat. She tells you, before that ship leaves, let them hear what you have to say. Please, this is important, Sildor.
Fine. He kind of makes his way to the front, kind of rolling his shoulders back, trying to stand as tall, make his frame as wide as possible. He's a thin guy, so it's kind of awkward for him to kind of take this stance. All right, listen up. This is our moment, our fleeting seconds in the sun. Our story may never be known, but our every decision will shape the world for years to come. A bleeding edge, a tower of madness, a thorn in the world. We descend into the screaming maw without the false hope of return, but the metal to light the path for others that will follow. We will not be the ones to pluck this thorn, to ruin this tower, to halt the bleeding, but we will be the first to try. With our very souls, we will tighten the noose around the demons that live there. They think themselves safe, immune to harm or retribution. We will show them they are wrong. Our very presence in that place will shake them. But when we kill them, they will know the fear of gods again. They are not invincible, immortals, infallible. We are anathema to them. We die as a blade, a hope, a dream. We, with the path we make in the moments to come, will be the road to salvation that will come the doors and them to come to seal forever and forever. I serve in hell to earn my place in the heavens.
You see the crowds chanting, "Ah! Ah!" They're chanting your name. They're chanting the cause. One of them just turns to the others, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" And every soldier that was leaving turns, falls into the ranks. And it's only the Elementar who takes a step forward and remembers he has to be the one who watches now. And he looks to you, Sildor, and you guys lock eyes as the airship rises. So you can't see each other anymore. Go ahead and take maximum inspirato. That's 3 inspiration. Now that's a fucking speech.
Amazing.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well done, man.
You see Taraji hold like a black hat like to her heart hearing the speech, and she just looks down at it. I think I picked the wrong man.
I'm taken.
Oh.
All right.
Not by sandwiching. How would I even do that? He's too tall.
Well said, Sildor. Well said. Mother Nature takes a step back, claps her hands once more, removing the booming voice. As you're talking to your ally, everyone just hears the conversation.
Yeah. How would I even do that?
Yeah, it's like booming. Well said. Well said. And she's like, let me take the magic off. So she removes the modified thaumaturgy, which she uses to talk to massive crowds and even people in further realms. She takes a step forward and she just goes onwards towards the darkness. Let us end this. And the soldiers look around. You see King Kajani starts just kind of hyping up his men. Come on! And he starts like beating his chest, and all his people start beating their chests. So you can see that there's some half giants in the crowd, and even some giants. And there's lots of room warriors. And he just goes, "We're gonna let that speech show me. I'm King Kajani, the Stone Warrior." And then everyone's like, "Oh shit, that's the Stone Warrior." STON Stone Warrior. Everyone just starts like the giants. They really think that's how it's spelled. Some people are like, "Well, hold on now." They don't say nothing. So, and you can see that everyone just looks ready. Palm is quiet though, and she just snickers and just goes, "Brave fools, dying, all of them." And Ghostface just goes, "Or aren't you just full of dreams and smiles like always? We're gonna get in there and we're gonna bust down those floors. When we're done, it won't be the mouth that feeds anymore. It'll just be the feeds. Cause I'm fucking hungry. Yeah. Talk all you want, Dickens. I'm gonna be the one that shows you what's right in there and what's wrong. Believe that." He walks over to Mother Nature and they just start talking. Jay ushers the rest of you down the center. "Come on. To war." The troops move forward.
Mozart starts to go in. He gets amped up. He's with the crowd, and he pulls out a small moonstone, and he kind of he gives it a light kiss, puts it to his forehead, and he's looks like he might be praying, but he's really just saying his thanks for his family, his friends, and even if he doesn't come out alive, he wishes them all the best. He drops the moonstone on the earth and covers it and starts to walk in.
The others walked past the veil, and the moment they got to the other side, sure you can see them on the map, they disappeared from vision. But they would have warned you that once you pierce this veil, it's like you're in a whole nother world, a whole nother plane of existence. We're not entering the mouth that feeds, just its main dominion where the tower sits. And from this point forward, we need to prepare ourselves. So feel free to walk through the void. Whoever does it first, I'll tell you kind of what you feel, and we can assume the rest feel similar, and then if you guys want to note onto that, you can tell me.
Fucking waited 6 hours for this. I don't need any more fucking preparing.
As Sildor starts making his way forward, Lilith just lightly taps on her cage as it starts to flare up with purple energy. Best of luck, as the energy just swirls around him for guidance,
Oh, but I don't need it.
just in case. I hope you find what you came here for.
You will feel Taraji like grab your hand before you step across the threshold.
Her eyes trail over to her.
You look over and you just see like trepidation. You see like fear. This is everything that I am not.
Do you
How?
truly believe that?
It's not the other side of the coin. This is. How do you live like this? No light. Nothing. No hope.
She stands for a moment and simply ponders as her hand trails to the tome on her side. Every time that we manage to defeat one of these creatures, we manage to extinguish just a little bit more of the darkness, to be able to push it back just a little bit longer. And sure, in this place there might not be any light, but that doesn't mean that it will extinguish all hope. All we need to do is record what happens and look forward. And if we give our lives in order to fight it back just a moment more for those that can't fight for themselves, and so be it in my eyes, as she just smiles.
She'll look at the resolve in your eye and just nod. Okay. Together.
And as she seemingly just like places her hand on yours, dark energy seems to just wrap around your arm, but it seems almost warm in nature. Not particularly dark, but not particularly like it's burning. Almost like a warm embrace. As the pair proceed forward.
Okay. Which of the three standing first forward are piercing the veil?
Odie will. He looks up skyward one last time, as if sending one more signal out. Invisible pulse to the things that were, to the things that crackle, to the things that serve. Odie going silent and plunges into the void.
Excellent. The moment you go through the void, you leave this beautiful grass, the large Oniki's gate that prevents darklings and Malders from escaping, even with a dedicated aerial support. The veil has a line of electricity, purple sparks spewing about. When you take your first step through the veil, you can feel the electric energize you, similar to if you've ever been under the effects of something like haste. You feel stronger, more powerful. But it's only in that moment when you transition from this world to the other side, you get that confidence. The moment you're on the other side, it's like it gave you a taste of hope, success, only for you to be filled with dread, but weaker than ever. The darkness, as you witness a blackened sun, a replica of the sun above. In here, it's a massive void. So what you see, the distance, dry lands, the dark sun in the corner, the roots ruined and coiled, creatures crying. See, Johnny turns to you. Ignore them. Those are roots, the mouth that feeds. Breathing them will poison you. They're not real creatures. They are the defense of the tower. You will not face only physical obstacles. I can break those. I'm a stone warrior. You will face things that will target your mind. That is why you must be smart. Because if you're not smart, then you will not live out here. Only the dumb die. D-U-M-M-D. Dumb. Die. So be like me and live. You understand? You understand?
Odie takes a sharp breath in. He inhales the fetid and stale air, as if inhaling the grave itself, and he looks toward this world, this ruined prison of a world. We must continue on, so our world doesn't become a reflection. The Seven Sisters must be stopped before our world is orphaned from light as well.
I'll hunt
I'll
all
take a huge
7 of
leap.
them down. So he says.
Still, the sun being dark is very strange. They should probably install some sort of fixtures if they could.
Yeah, I will install the Stone Warrior's creed upon the sun. And while you're just kind of engaging him back and forth, you can see that out of all the commanders, he's probably purely the muscle. In any case, don't forget he's a Stone Warrior. S-T-O-N. Stone. Who goes through the veil next? And then I will transition you to the map above.
Sildor's hitting it, bro.
So then why don't we have Shildor and Mozart hit it and try just to move it along. Do you have anything you want to say, Mozart, before you enter the veil?
Mozart just has like a big smile and just says, "All right, let's do this." And you start to feel as you're walking in, Sildor, if you're within 10 feet of me, you feel like your steps get quicker.
And the two of you see, I won't describe what you feel because it's the same as OD, but you see the black sun, the dark sun, and also the roots and the chaoticness, and it's almost surreal that you just a few feet away were in what was a normal world and coming to here under the same sun, sky, roof, and it to be so dramatically different and altered. You can give me your initial impressions, and then we'll get the rest of the guys in here.
Well, isn't this place just a ray of sunshine?
Honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. This is what I was built for. Time to do
I could think of a few things we could do differently. Maybe a waiter, an elevator, maybe.
No. Only one way to forge only one way for it to forge our name in history's books, and this is the route right here. Come on, Sildor. Now let's keep up.
Right. And the rest of you, I'll put you on the other side so you may see what you envisioned so far. The aggressive sun beats down onto you. You notice there's no warmth from the sun. Not only is it different, but there's almost a chill from it. Despite you confirming that it registers as heat, oddly. In any case, here you are in this ugly place. Maybe some of you find beauty in it. Maybe some of you do. Well, Lilith and Taraji, impressions before we move forward.
As Lilith walks forward with Taraji in hand, doing whatever she can to comfort her, there's just a warm smile across her face. It's about time that we start your story.
She'll look back at the sun and the rolling clouds and the grass and the trees, the wind going through her hair, just life. She takes a deep breath and then nods to Lilith. I'm ready. and then we both step in.
And the whispers begin. They all can hear him, but like just now, you're starting to register them. It's in your minds, all about see the decay, the haunting lights, chilling sun. Building. Someone built buildings here once upon a time. Someone lived in these lands. Nothing lives here now. I wouldn't even call the creatures here are living. They're not undead either. They don't understand life. Only take it. And every step you take in here, you could feel your weight more than ever. Almost like putting a bag on your back and kind of feeling the adjustment to your body before you start. You forget about it unless it's too heavy. Now you're carrying your bodies in a different way. It's like you're twice as heavy. The air here is stiff. Like every time you try to breathe, like you're stealing it from the ally to the left and right of you. Sometimes when you talk, you notice that you stop walking, and it's not voluntary. It's just, there's almost like an absence of time. A few seconds off, but enough to cost you your life in the fight. You think it's going to be hard to concentrate on magic here. It's going to be hard to focus. And you think that, well, I'm sure you're wondering, is it going to be worth it? The answer, of course, is yes, but maybe for your characters, it's not. In any case, you begin to traverse through this place. And I need the players to give me a survival check. While you guys are making that survival check, I'll explain to the stream what that means, but the rest of you should know by now what that means. Make sure your sheets are public. I see yours though, Sildor, 23, Mozart's at 13. So in our games, while the players are making survival checks, Vivid Edition doesn't have a normal means of exploration. It's just a random encounter chart that people roll, and they see if they get a random encounter. But we put the exploration back into the game by using the survival skill. How well you can track, how well you can kind of chart a proper safe path, how well you can work together to get to where you're going. So what happens is each of the characters are assigned a value, a single value that applies to all of them that are in the check. So today the value is unfortunately very high, is 15. Normally it's a 10, it's 15. So since there are 5 player characters, it's 15 times 5. That's the number they have to meet or beat. I do not think we beat that number.
Well, I think Taraji had guidance, unless it was called a bit short.
Yeah,
But
so an additional 1d4.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So 17.
Was it on me, or?
Did we actually get it? It's not
Roger.
30, 60, 75. We did not get it now.
Actually, didn't I get guidance? I thought I did.
Yeah, I gave
Before I
it to you
stepped
initially when you came in. I'm not sure how long that would have lasted.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
Oh,
minute,
yeah.
and even if it lasts longer, it's concentration spell, so it wouldn't have more
Yeah.
than that.
Okay.
Only one instance, anyways.
Yeah. That's not enough. So as you guys are traversing through this place, at some point, just like how you sometimes talk and stop or do something, you get separated from the mass army. And at the same exact time you hear a scream, you realize that you yourselves are in a fight and that the entire army is under siege by Mouthers who know, since they're right outside the mouth that feeds, if they lose, they'll just go back home. But the defense outside, right off the bat, a Mouther. A weak Mouther, but a Mouther nonetheless. As you find yourselves deep in this purple infected place that should be beautiful but is ugly. Let's move into that now.
Let's go.
To the south, you can see a squadron fighting. They're outnumbered. They need your help. Can you help yourselves? We're gonna roll initiative and find the cow.
What is that?
I cut through and regroup.
Oh god. don't like the name of it.
You guys can start anywhere on this one rock, and then I will roll you into initiative once you guys have moved somewhere you want to be on this rock.
Anywhere on the rock? Got it.
And we fight. We fight until we win or until we die.
Just everyone remembers when you're within 10 feet of me, of Mozart, you are quicker. You take. It doesn't cost any movement to move within 10 feet of me for you guys. Enemies, it's double movement because my gravitational pull lets you move faster.
Okay, the bad guys are rolled. Are you guys settled where you want to be?
Oh, good.
I do not know, or I can't see at the moment.
Oh, do you not have sight?
You gotta drag us because it
Oh,
takes a
it's
little
on
bit.
the left side. Yeah. It's a big map. I'm actually deleting the previous sections that we've been on as we go along. Hopefully speed up the map eventually. It's a big map.
I'm full court anyway. I'm good. Yeah.
Okay, you're good. All right, so the moment you guys get here, you kind of process what's going on. You see that this power, this bulbous violet, begins to just rise up at the ground. The reason why you easily walked into the ambush is because everything here looks disgusting. But this thing is further so. It's a creature. It just looks like some type of nasty plant. And as it rises up and begins to spew, you can see that a legion further down is being attacked by similar monstrosities. We have advanced initiative. Left click your token, roll it again, and then we can change your number.
I didn't know if it automatically rolled it with advantage or not.
Unfortunately, there are some limitations with the speed script. But that is what you see with the bulbous violet. So you're now at 19, I'll reorder. Okay, excellent. Oh, the elemental, I never actually did the initial order. The elemental army was faster. So the elemental army does have a stat block, and there are a bunch of soldiers, and they're going to take to the battlefield. You see that they are surrounded by these mushroom-looking kind of centipede creatures that previously, when they were arrested, folded their legs, just kind of look like a plant. But you see the elemental army, they're really scared, but Lord Val is there, and he's giving them courage back. When they see you all in the north assemble to help, they get a little braver, and they charge into the fray. But of course, in order to charge into any fray, the battle music.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Make sure that she's not on whisper. Elemental army, axe. All right, you see them immediately focus down. There's a whole bunch of them in this little group, and they start pulling out their runes and forming a power in their hands, and they spew down their runic energy right onto this swift shroom coming towards them by combining their powers. It has to make a con save. So they failed the con save. You could see there's fire, there's lightning, there's ice, a whole bunch of different type of runic powers blasting the swift shroom. And the swift shroom takes 28 damage, which nearly destroys it in one fell swoop. That is what they are doing this turn. Kadaji, you're up.
Yeah, just seeing the immediate danger, the very first thing Taraji's gonna do is she will reach out her hand, and then like you'll see like a light like on her palm, and then she'll bring it to her like her chest, and both her and Lilith will have similar markings to what she already has, but then just around, like floating around them, and she'll cast Shield of Faith. That should be a +2 to AC, which I definitely need. And for my action, we'll do Sacred Flame against this one here.
See it start to turn around and scuttle up the hills. It fails as you scorch it for your Sacred Flame. Why don't you describe the first time using the ability so we can kind of get your own style and feel for it?
Sure, yeah. So after casting the Shield of Fate, she'll then bring out that same hand, and essentially like sparks will appear first, and then like this like blue and like pink like flame will then sprout out, going like around Sildor, and then like looking across this room.
Excellent. It begins to burn it as his body just kind of coils up and folds under its own weight. But eventually it just kind of does what animals do. They try to make themselves look bigger, like it's still on the fight, as it just kind of puffs its chest up. But it is severely injured. The bulbous, you blink and you realize that it animates in the different flower, the previous flower dying. You blink again and it animates in the flower right behind and next to Lilith, as it's just killing a flower and reappearing out of any flower in its immediate domain. And you have a feeling that that's not something the bulbous can do. Every time it teleports, you see the body taker plant, the low tier Malther, just a measly tier 3 that a group like your army should be able to deal with, is bolstering all of his units. So as the bulbous appears next to you, Lilith, it begins to lash out.
Got it.
And normally it can only attack once, as you see it look slow, but then that same thing happens. The body taker plant just starts spewing out this nasty liquid onto it that splashes onto it, leaving a sticky substance, and it just begins to move faster. Does a 15 hit you?
Yep, 15 hits.
You get hit for 7 bludgeoning and 4 acid. And what's worse is you're grappled and restrained.
Oh.
And then on its second attack, granted to it by the body taker Malther, a 19 would surely connect as well. Another 7 damage, bludgeoning, and 5 acid. So when it hits you, it just slammed its body onto you, but the pollen that kind of falls off the center of it, this golden amber ink, begins to burn your flesh. But wait, there's more.
Oh god.
The other bulbous appears behind Sildor and also attacks. A 17, does that hit Sildor?
Yes it does.
You also get grappled and restrained, and you take 8 bludgeoning and 7 acid. The next attack comes out and it's a 24, which also would hit you, which hits you for 6 bludgeoning and 7 acid. I would like to remind the party you have 3 greater healing potions, some of you have 4. In any case, as it does assault you, Sildor, hitting you for 8 bludgeoning, 7 acid, 6 bludgeoning, 7 acid. That is it. It's your turn. And I will tally the total up for you in chat.
First off, he's going to use his bonus action to get real angry. Or in his case, he's gonna get real fucking motivated, real hyped. If he wasn't grappled, he'd be doing like a bunch of jumping jacks and shit. You know, get the blood pumping. He's gonna go into a rage.
I would like to rage. You got
I
it.
would like to rage. Anyway. So do I have to use my action to break out of this?
Yes, or you can kill the creature and actually break out of it, but you are grappled and restrained.
Can I attack when I'm restrained?
Yeah,
Or
you
say
have
anything?
you have just a disadvantage when you're restrained.
Okay. Sildor's going to, I guess, as I imagine he's got his like kind of arms kind of pinned to his legs, so he's gonna take. He's got like kind of like clawed fingers, not like super long or anything. It's more like his fingers are kind of like pointed in a shadowy shape, and he kind of bears down on one of his thighs and like just scrapes all the way up the side of it, and all the blood kind of runs from his leg. It's this vibrant red color that's in complete opposite to his like blue and black form. It kind of spins out into this long rod, almost like a bunch of threads twisting around themselves. And at the end, there's several blades beginning to spring up at its ends until it makes an entire disc consisting of like 20 or 30 different blades, making it into like almost like a bladed umbrella.
Excellent.
The blood is going to harden itself into the glaive shield.
Excellent. As you form your glaive shield, the combination of both the weapon and the shield proper, you prime yourself for battle. The bulbous looks ready to take you down.
I'm a recluse. Recluse attack.
Sounds good. That evens out the disadvantage.
And give her the good old 1-2.
25 connects. You reckless, preventing the natural one.
Ooh, I also get an extra on the first attack that hits.
By the way, that gift, that's a great movie. If you guys don't know, it's called Shadow. That's amazing.
I will
It also-
watch that.
Did not roll with the rage damage for some reason.
How much is rage damage?
2.
2? Okay. Okay, so when you hit the bulbous, acid spews off of its body. You take 4 acid damage. No, you take 2 acid damage. Actually, that's a lie. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
I
Realize it.
can't. Would it be flat?
Yeah, because you would normally have advantage. You would normally have advantage, so yeah, it's flat. You take 2 acid damage.
Okay. I'm gonna do it again.
Fucking do it again.
15.
I did it. Yeah, that hits. Let me see how much AC they have. Yeah, that hits.
Okay. And another 2 on that. I don't know why it's not adding my rage.
I'll check. Usually there's like a little toggle you have to press. That's below the attack section. In any case, yeah, so you do 11 damage to this creature. I need another dex save. You think that every time you hit it, it's spewing off some of its acid from its body. All or nothing save. So you make it, you don't take any acid damage. Good job,
and with that, that's all he's got for now.
The Doom Creeper looks like something that you would just ignore. Of course, you don't know its name. You probably don't want to ignore something called the Doom Creeper. But it's sitting back in the trees observing the battlefield, and you see it open up this rose slowly, and energy begins to form. Particles begin to form in the center of it, and it unleashes an explosion. You're the first to draw blood on the enemy side. Sildor. Actually, no, that's Taraji. Can he reach Taraji? Let me check. But like I was saying, Sildor. So like I was saying, Mozart. It's actually, so it's a little spoilery, no, but 60-foot range. So I actually can't get Sildor or Taraji. I guess the closest is OD, so OD, you're up. You see it, the beam focuses you down, and I guess it's thematic that the rose user attacks your character. But the Doom Creeper shoots you with Death's Rose. I need a DC 15 intelligence saving throw. God bless your heart. You will not be incapacitated for a minute. So the beam hits you, attempting to disorient you, but it doesn't. And then you see that. Good.
Well, it hits him, and his head goes to the side of it, but you see it deflected off of his helmet, and then he turns toward it with that single glowing lens.
And it looks at you. It wonders if it under or overestimated you. It's unsure still. But you see that the body snatcher starts to spew its nasty, wet slimy ichor onto it. And you see that it just immediately moves fast, reappearing in a rows next to you guys, attached to this tree, and it swipes down onto Taraji as it just literally just can move between the plants. It double whips you, but a 13 to 12, I'm not sure if those connect.
They do not.
So you just move with some type of finesse, dodging. These blade-like vine whips come out.
Yeah, throw the shield of fate, so yeah, it just bounces off of that basically.
There we
Otherwise,
go.
I'd be getting smacked the fuck up.
These guys suffering difficult terrain are gonna have to dash, so the back row not gonna be able to fight because of Mozart's difficult terrain. So in order to get into melee range, so only 2 of them are actually going to be able to attack you this turn. 2 of them can't. The ones that will attack, one's going to attack Sildor. The Swishroom is going to eat and try to beat you. A 21, does that connect with your shield out or no?
Yes, it does.
So you get hit for 5 bludgeoning, 5 poison. OD, one of them reached you that didn't have to dash. I'll try now. There's an 18 at you, OD.
It does not. He brings up the shield to bear and clatters against the shield.
All right, and you can see that they kind of look like centipedes / mushrooms. So you can imagine how they're attached. They're crawling up on you with their claws and their teeth, trying to bite at you and crush you and pierce you with their mandibles and their claws. Lilith, you're up.
Okay. So quick thing I noticed about whatchamacall? Tales from Beyond. I'm able to activate it to just like roll, and then it seems like it just stays with me until the short rest. Would it have been possible for me to have done that?
Yes, before this year.
Okay, just double checking.
Let's see what you got. Roll it now.
Let's see. First time using the glass, so. Let's see. 4th tail. Tail of the runaway. Okay. Teleport to a space that we can probably need. You could choose the number of creatures you could see within. You could charisma to use the same reaction. Okay. In that case, Lilith kind of being grabbed by this bulbet violet just has a slight smile to her face. To all that travel along the roads, there are a few that are as bold. To all that would encounter the runaway, they are the only ones that will ever get away. As dark magic seems to just like permeate around her, and who's probably in the best position. Would go to Sildor. Actually, I have 4 charisma, so it applies to everybody in this case. As the main action applies, everyone that wants to could use their reaction to teleport up to 30 feet to an unoccupied space. As your body seems to just fade away into dust and reappear at whatever location you want to.
It looks like once you use it, you can't use it again. You sure you want to use it now?
Let me see.
You can use an action to choose one creature you see within 30 feet of you. This can be you to be the target of your tail. Once you do so, you can't bestow the tail's effect again, so you roll it again.
Yeah, this is probably a good time.
Okay.
Because there are a lot of enemies we might want to relocate fit.
Sure. Just letting you know, it's not like an every turn action.
Yep.
I'm aware. Okay, so in that case, trying to figure out a good area for us. Lilith will be relocating to. Let's go to here. Actually, I'll take up here. And any of you that want to could use reaction to teleport.
Any of us?
You know, all of us.
Anyone up to my charisma. So I only have a 4. It targets the 4 of you.
I don't want to be grappled anymore.
Yeah, you
So
can, you can teleport 5 feet and be ungrappled, or you can teleport the full 30. It's up to you.
I'm gonna.
The rest of you know where you want to go to. You don't have to wait for him to resolve. You can, if you're gonna teleport, teleport.
Not really.
Okay, are we settled? Is everybody happy where they are?
I'll teleport right there.
Okay.
I will stay there.
All right, Lilith, what else you got for us?
All right. As she seems to just like reassimilate into this new location, she takes a swig of her potion because, God, she got fucked up.
Yes, a potion in our game is a bonus action, which it should be that way in most people's games, honestly.
Yep. No 6 in this case because it isn't a spell, so just 14 healing, which is very nice. And with that, kind of seeing everyone's new location, she'll use her movement to start moving this direction, and then EOT.
Great, great. So for the first time you see the Mouther activate, I mean, he was spewing his spit everywhere. This massive plant. That's how it looks, like this big bulb, almost like a lettuce with eyeballs on its freaking head and a whole bunch of vine-like tendrils. And inside its mouth, if you can call it that, where that slimy ichor is, some type of creature directing the entire battlefield. Pointing around, and you see it, tendrils all go into the water and begins to drink the water of this tiny lake. And you don't know what that means, but if it's committing its entire turn to doing that, you may want to stop it as it begins to drink from the lake. These soldiers immediately swarm the enemy. Well, I guess your allies, but they swarm their enemies, attempting to take them out. I'm gonna go ahead and make a shit ton of attacks real quick, and we'll get the rest of you back in the action. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So top down, left, right, you know the drill. 7, 12, 17. 17 connects. 9, 11, 11 damage. Luckily, the soldiers have resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, like every swarm in the game. But for Val, he is getting 22, 10, 16, 19. Let me check Val. 19 might miss Val. One of the previous players in the other campaign. He's an AC of 19, okay. The 2 attacks hit Lord Val, and 1 attack hits the soldiers. Both of them take some damage. You can see that the centipedes are just overrunning them. While the elemental army is struggling, Lord Val seems to easily be just cutting them down, kicking them aside, and engaging them otherwise in melee. 10, 15, 16 damage. Sorry, boy, math. And now Lord Val is up, and he is going to take an opportunity attack from the Swift Shroom. The Swift Shroom goes to bite him in the leg successfully for 7 piercing, 6 poison. And you see Lord Val put his blade into the ground and he says some words. My blade, union, is forged to destroy enemies of Elder Earth. And my rune, Lightspeed Bolt, will see to it that I do just that. As he activates his advanced rune, perhaps even mastered, Lightspeed Bolt. Where he travels in a 100-foot line, and in his wake erupts a lightning bolt. And the lightning bolt is at a level equal to his proficiency bonus. It is a 6th level lightning bolt. Let's go ahead and blast that now.
Yeah. God damn.
And there's a reason he mixed this line up too, because he's trying to get at that Mouther. See that the lightning bolt stops just before OD and Lilith, but he can exit anywhere on there. So as he goes through these creatures, let's go ahead and use the script to do their saves. Oh shit, I just rolled them into initiative. Here we go. Not the right one. There we go. Press a fancy little button. He kills all 3 of the swift shrooms, severely injured the tier 3 Mouther, and using the movement of the swift boat, lands right on top of it, pulls his blade out, and stabs the guy in the chest. Dramatically. It's just a bolt, guys. Mozart, you're up.
Okay, Mozart, who teleported things to Lilith right in front of this weakened bulbous violet, is going to pull out his great sword. This thing is big, it's beautiful, it's this reddish tone like the red rocks in, I believe it's Arizona, and just very well polished and very sharp. And he pulls it out and says, "All right, let's go," and brings down a massive cleave from the left to the right, trying to strike this bulbous violet and rip it to shreds. Oh no! First attack.
Well, 12 hits.
Ooh!
12 is the bulbous armor class. Describe the kill.
It just cuts through, and it's almost like when you get a really sharp knife with a piece of paper. How it has that's like a beautiful cut. It's beautiful. It's quick, just like Mozart.
No. Give me a dex save versus the acid that spews out of their body.
Oh no! Oh no! Not a dex save. My weakness. 9.
You take 1 acid damage.
Oh. I'll say it lands on my my beautiful robes. And I'm like, ah. I try to pat it out.
Not the drip.
Not the drip. Okay. That was I'm gonna start moving. But Mozart is going to rise up like something I think M. Bison does it, but definitely Magneto does it. He starts to hover up, and he is going to move 5, 10, 15, 20, and right in front of this shift shroom. Well, maybe not. That's kind of far away from Taraji. I'll go in the middle of both of these two, and I will bring down my second attack on the shift shroom.
Okay.
As I just kind of try to cleave it in two. No.
Is the armor class that low? Let me find out. That hits.
Oh my god.
They had less than the bulbous. You know what? Even though both times you thought you missed, it's time to kill.
I just fly, hovering in the air, just bringing down this massive cleave, and I slam it into the rock or into the vine beneath it, and cut into the vine. And I bring up the big sword, and I put it right towards these other shift shrooms, right towards their what I assume might be their faces.
OD.
All right, in the lightning flash of Lord Vow's Lightspeed rune, you see the dark silhouette of OD, and sticking out from beneath his cloak, you see this metallic brass silver thing glowing with neon, almost vein-like structures, geometric in nature, as he brandishes his technoblade. It's almost like the light from the weapon runs up along his arm, up to his helmet, as there's some sort of connection there. He lofts the lance above his head, and he takes aim at the body taker plant. And this ginormous lance, something normally used for charging, for piercing, for striking, is suddenly launched forward with tremendous speed. As his bonus action, he will use Oh, sorry. As his bonus action, he will use an attack with his Technoblade and use Technoblade overclocking to add extra force damage equal to his intelligence modifier. It goes to the air and tries to pierce the Mouther. Ooh, likely not hitting.
Which one, the Mountain?
But yes.
Don't forget your Technical Blade bonus action gives you 2 attacks.
Yep. And
12. Hold on, let me double check because these guys don't have a lot of AC. Where are you? Here. Oh yeah, unfortunately it misses.
The moment it hits the ground, however, it immediately reappears into his hand, and he goes for another throw.
That hits.
Okay, for 15 damage, and then with his actual action, he will throw it once more time.
That hits.
Okay, for another 13 damage. I think the overclocking only applies to the bonus action attacks. Yes. Okay. And then with his remaining movement, he'll impose himself between Shift Room and once more. Once again, he holds up his hand, and the lance almost kind of like breaks itself into tiny module pieces that fly back toward him and reassemble into a lance.
Excellent.
And he will end his turn.
The Elemental Army performs 2 attacks. A series of blades come out, but the enemies are also equally swarming. The second attack, however, connects. Only they had advantage. Doing 19 damage.
I mean, what if I'm at 4-3 over here, so
It has to be called before the row.
okay.
So they cut down the shrooms with the 14, easily destroying them. You can see mauls, blades, scimitars, all kinds of different weapons just swinging out of these soldiers, these group of warriors that are fighting together. Taraji.
Alrighty. Taraji, seeing that the Mouther appears to be on death's doors, as well as the other Doom Creeper like behind her still, she will twin spell Guiding Bolt for both of these creatures. Let me see. So, Guiding Bolt, here it is. So this first one misses at the creeper.
The Doom?
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Gotcha. Then the second one.
Who was that? What was that on?
The 12 was going to the body taker.
The body taker, unfortunately, almost like they both have one mind. They both dodge at the same time.
Ooh. Gotcha. So from there, that's it. That was my big play.
Correct. 3. Okay, that's correct then. So you toss out 2 bolts, but you fortunately a 4 and a 6. It's the bane of Archie. The Bulbous, however, seeing you try to attack their lord, punishes you further, flying towards you.
I'll make a attack of opportunity against it.
What's the range of your weapon?
10 feet.
So he didn't leave your range.
I thought he was moving farther away.
No.
Can you move over there, please?
Lol. So he flies in and he tries to assault Taraji.
Okay.
2 tendrils, a 15.
That would hit, but I'm gonna do a thing. use my item, which is the Glove of Ages. So I believe on reaction, I can expend it to add +2 to my AC.
Excellent. Yeah. So that attack misses you, followed up by a nasty critical hit.
Oh, that's a little different, yeah.
I'll use my reaction now and use my Cloak of the Boundless to negate some of that.
Okay. A 9, I'm assuming, right? Just a 9.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
a 9.
Make sure. All right, let's go find out how much damage this is. So a nasty 15 is reduced to a 6. How does that look, Sildor? How does it look when you protect her?
So Sildor has this cloak that it looks like it's a part of his body. The side facing out is dark like most of him, but the inside is the glowing blue like you see around his neck. And whenever he sees you get struck like that, his shadow, which seems to be even darker in this place, kind of stretches out and almost like running water, or maybe more like honey, something thicker, kind of shoots its way towards you like pharaoh fluid, and it rolls up your body, and where the creature would have struck you, it kind of molds itself around you and absorbs the damage.
Thank you.
The other bulbous is dead. About to say it's revenge for you stopping his damage, but instead you just get to go.
Mozart, help Lord Vow! I've got these things. And first off, he's gonna drink a potion.
Excellent. You heal 10 hit points. The creatures are just kind of dancing around you in unison, like they're copying each other. Like sometimes you see snakes do when they're looking at each other.
And then he's going to try and hit this one right here. Their AC's like 10, right?
Well, we saw 10 hit them, so yeah.
I don't think I can miss then. I guess a critical.
Okay.
Yeah, now one goes in this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Right.
hey.
You called
I see.
critical.
See if the damage actually. Do I have brutal criticals?
That's 11.
Okay. This is still fun.
Or a 10
Damn.
I'm gonna maximize the 2
Yeah,
On the
just
slash.
10, so 19 so far plus the top stuff.
Does the D6 and the
2 damage
Yeah.
actually multiply?
No, the 2 doesn't, the D6 does. You want me one more D6? It's
It
that-
should be up there, yeah. It's
Well, you rolled 1d6 plus 3 on the Fury, which was a 5. You need one more d6. The Fury didn't double.
okay.
Okay, there we go. Well, you don't put the plus when you double it. You only put the d6. So you get one
Oh,
more.
right.
I've never critted with a barbarian like this before.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what did you add up that's different from what I added up?
Let's see.
Yeah, I did
I
the
added
7
up
at the end there
uh,
rather than the 2.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you put the 7. Yeah. It's only 2 more.
on me.
It's still big damage. It's still enough for you to describe the kill, Salor.
Mm-hmm.
The blades he starts twirling the shaft of the spear, or maybe the spear kind of twirls on its own, or probably more like a combination of both, as he kind of controls it as if it's more of an extension of his body. And the blades turn into like a circular saw, and he sweeps it over, and just bisects this creature vertically in half. And he's gonna spin around almost like a ballerina and try to hit this other shift shroom. Actually, he's gonna, because he has 10-foot reach, he's gonna try to hit this one. So Mozart can keep on going, keep on trucking. Almost.
29 easily connects. Uh,
13.
13 damage.
And that will be all.
The Doom Creeper. Gonna try to slow down Sildur's momentum. Alright, we've got a whole bunch of different things we can do. Let's go for the slowing pedal, as another rose is sucked into the center as it begins to light up an explosion, and then this tiny little particle beam shoots towards you. I need a charisma saving throw.
I'll use an inspo on this.
$15 is exactly what you need to have nothing happen to you. Well done. In its frustration, you see it detach from the tree and crawl around and try to whip you with its rose whip. 2 whips come out, a 12 and a 17.
Both miss.
So you just easily dodge the beam, deflected with your sword as the light shoots into the trees. It's exploding as you see that the very trees begin to coil and turn to dust. And the creeper gets exceedingly frustrated. But what can the bitch do? He's gotta end his turn. Alright, this one's dead, but the others do act on its turn. So the ones that are alive next to you guys are going to attack. That is a bite against Sildur and a bite against Mozart.
I did attack the one next to Mozart, not this one.
Oh, you attacked this one. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me swap the damage over. Is that 13? Okay. Okay, cool. All right, good. They don't seem to be tactically planning without the mind flayer. Without the not the mind flayer, if it was, you guys were fucked. The body taker. So it does still attack Mozart. 24 would hit him.
Yep.
And then against you, Sildur, 9 would miss you. You take 6 bludgeoning and 6 poison, Mozart.
Okay. As soon as he hits me, my big ass sword starts to glow an even deeper red.
Excellent. Yeah, our friends have resistance to poison damage. You guys aren't tracking. Lilith. I know like 2 or 3 of you are Earth.
Okay. Lilith, seeing the Doom Creeper cause quite a bit of damage at this point, will lift up her cage and seem to like twist the lid at the very top as it makes a distinct clicking sound, and the skull on the inside starts to rattle back and forth as dark energy starts pouring out. Alright then. Why don't we spread a few words of encouragement? As she says that, the smoke starts to emanate outwards and start collapsing toward the Doom Creeper. The will of the runes are absolute, every word only truth. To those that oppose this world, your life shall be en route. Vicious mockery.
En route and down the plant on the root? That's even deeper. Okay. I owe you a wisdom saving throw.
Yep. And since I am the Spirit Bard, I have a additional dice that applies to any time I deal damage or restores hit points.
Oh, the D6. Oh, you max, so it's 8 damage. Okay,
Unfortunately, dice.
so you do 8 damage to it, which for those of you watching, I will intentionally mess up words so that when I don't do it, I can act like I'm doing it. So damage is damage. That he fails. He gets hit by it.
Okay, and in addition, he also has disadvantage on the next attack roll he makes.
Curses.
Yep, as the smoke starts to collapse down on him, and they seem to like reform into like purple chains that hold back along the eye. And with that, EOT.
The body's taker begins finishing up the water in the well, and he spews the water onto Val. Val needs to make a dexterity saving throw. He does. He just jumps up, begins to spin, and as he's spinning, he's just kind of like a top, and the water's hitting him, but being blown in every direction, just deflecting the water as it begins to rain over the ocean and refill the small lake, much to the plant's displeasure. So the plant snatches out with its vines to assault Val. Reattacks, a critical hit, a 25 and a 13. Right. Let's go ahead and add up all this damage. It's gonna be a lot. We're gonna maximize. So we're gonna maximize one of the dice in the crits. That is going to be 6, 5, 11, 17. Oof. $53 damage to Lord Val. Furthermore, he's grappled and restrained, so thematically he just kind of slams him down from the sky as he stops spinning, catches him, wrapping him up in about 17 vines. Then he slams him down, boom, crushing him into the floor. The grass kicks up and spews, but the plant turns the grass into needles and sends them flying onto the battlefield. Everyone owes me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh. Weakness.
Let's see.
No.
The elemental army gets pinned for 11 piercing. Cuts through their ranks. Oh, they have resistance to piercing. All right, so among the players, the DC 17. If you failed, it's 11 piercing. If you succeeded, it's 5 piercing.
As the needles come down OD, you see him whip his blade around, deflecting most, perhaps, of the needles. Deflecting all the needles.
Nice.
Damn.
You deflect every single needle with your kinetic shield, proving that you are a powerful being just like the Malda. And he spews out words, the creature in his back with his sword still stuck in his belly. You will not underestimate me. I am a tier 3.
You are a vine, a weed on the side of the road we must march into the mouth.
Basically said he had a little dick. That's fucked. Alright, so these swift shrooms are up and they're going to attack the elemental army. 24 to 21. Apparently their masters got them moving as both attacks come through. I will half the physical damage, but they'll take the full poison. So the elemental army takes a total of 8 damage. They begin to show signs of wear and tear, but they're holding it together for now. Lord Val is up, and Lord Val stands up, coughing up a little bit of blood, wrapped in these vines, and he says, "You think these vines can hold me? Did you not see what I could do?" Lightning's right through him. To the other side, spending another use of his light bolt rune, which I misspoke earlier. It's not advanced, mastered. That's only just the beginning of what he can do with his rune. So he's going to do another light bolt at 6th level, and you see the plant creature just get torn to pieces. And Lord Val puts his sword away because it looks cool. Then he sees the bad guys and he draws it back out. It looks like we dealt with the body taker. And right as he says that, you see Val fall to his knees. Ugh. What? What's going on? He opens his mouth and you can see a miniature version of the body taker. Why, it's in my name, Rune Warrior. And you see Val's eyes roll back and they look like the eyes of the body takers. That large orange. Is this a mature stream? Vagina looking thing. And then what's worse is the body disappears, melting away, and just erupts around him. His skin becomes a sickly green, and he's just kind of in the center of this massive plant as the plant is fully reborn. Surely you knew we had more than that. I'm the body taker. Now the body taker will act on 2 turns in initiative. Its own and Lord Val's future turn, since it doesn't have an action.
Oh.
It's a tier 3, people. Let's not forget. Mozart, you're up.
That changes a few things, but they're kind of far away. So, Mozart is going to, even though his sword is brimming, wanting to attack that Shriftshroom that hit him, instead he's going to hold up his left hand, and you're going to see this like dark orb start to form, like a little black hole, and then he's going to push it forward, and he's going to push it right here next to Sildor, and say, "Hey, Sildor, duck!" And I am going to use my rune ability to cast Gravity Well.
What's the area? I'll grab you the area size.
It's a 15-foot.
Radius?
Radius.
Radius? Okay.
Oh, I said dark, but it's fucking gold, because hell yeah, it's gold.
Gangster.
Hell yeah.
Pimp, man. This dude's a pimp or something? Gold ass gravity well.
Yeah, so all the baddies on this, all 4 of them will have to make a strength saving throw, and then all the allies in that same area can move out 15 feet. So it'd be Sildor if you want to. I think OD.
I'm gonna give you this. This is the side of it, just so you can be sure how you want it. 15-foot radius.
Okay.
So now go ahead and do whatever.
There we go. Right here.
Man's got that drip. All right, cool. So you've summoned this gravity well, which for the rest of you, you can kind of think like a black hole, but for him, it's a golden hole, a yellow shower, golden shower. Let's go ahead and no, it's not that. Don't worry, guys. Mozart's not doing golden showers this weekend. All right. What save that all you? Strength save.
Strength save. 15.
Strength saving throw. All of them fail except for the final living bulb.
Okay.
They get pulled towards the center, right?
They get pulled towards the center, and then if they hit each other, then they're stunned and restrained.
Oh, they're stunned. Stunned if multiple creatures. All right, they're stunned. So the Doom Creeper and the surviving Shroom are stunned. No more beams for me.
Fuck yeah. Oh, yes. All right. With that happening, Mozart is going to start making his way.
Real quick.
Oh yeah.
Sildor, do you want to benefit from the push out so that you can reposition or no?
Yeah. How far am I allowed to?
15 feet.
15 feet.
Second, the answer is probably no, but do these things bleed?
No, do bugs bleed? That's I never think about that.
Bugs do for sure, because these are plants. They kind of bleed chlorophyll, but I'm not
Well,
sure.
he needs actual blood for
Yeah.
this feature.
Yeah.
So if it's like chlorophyll, then no, they don't. I would say the swift shrooms do though, but not the plant, just the other one.
Then when I struck that one down, how much health? What's its CR?
These CR, they're pretty low CR. Let me check. CR 1-4. So you would round down to the minimum CR of 1.
Okay.
Okay, Mozart. Anything else?
Seeing that the bulbous violet didn't get pushed to the center to free up Taraji, she's just gonna give her like a quick look and say, Taraji, you good?
Taraji?
I'm sorry. I was thinking. I'm like, am I good? Yes,
You
go.
seem- Okay. He doesn't want to leave you, but he'll start moving. All right, he's gonna start. I hope so. He's gonna start floating. Magneto floating. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I'll put a little wing to show he's up off the ground. He's like 5 feet up off the ground.
Yeah. So this dude's got the drip. He's got the showers, and he's just floating like Magneto, who we all know. And you know what, sexy mofo.
Let's go. All right. EOT.
OD.
Odie will turn towards the bulbous violet in front of Taraji. He raises his lance back, winding a tremendous force behind his head, and he will overclock 3 attacks again.
So
Actually,
they're stunned, so you have advantage against them.
oh, the bulbous violet too.
Oh, no, not the violet, sorry.
Okay, he'll start off with that one, and then we'll see where we go from there. Alright, so... Ooh, that's... No matter what that is, that's gonna be a miss, unfortunately. He'll try again on the violet.
That hits.
10 damage, and then once more onto the violet.
That hits.
Okay.
Survived, but
and
it's super injured.
Okay. I suppose he'll start moving this away. And end this turn.
Excellent. The elemental army immediately is going to guarantee the kill by using their combined force of their rune to drop down a tremendous explosion. Oh wait, it's each creature within 5 feet of it that would hit themselves. So they target this guy because they don't want to be attacked from behind. Is it a con save? So they fail, and so in one fail swoop, you see that as this one attempts to rejoin the others, about 4 of the Rune Warriors turn around and they start doing some freaking Captain Planet shit, and they put up their rings. This squad, maybe they were a team before this, each one of them have a ring on it, and it's like fire, earth, air, and they're like combining their elements. And as this swift shroom, which you can assume are also small swarms, jump in the air, Exodia obliteration Kaiba style, they get just eradicated. Then you see, as they combine their energies, some creature flies off in the air. It just keeps yelling Captain Planet. All right. Not canon. That's not canon. Taraji, you're up.
Lieutenant World, yeah. Seeing that, there's 3 of them. I was not good.
Well, these 2 are stunned. It's just the one in front of you that's still aware of its surroundings.
Yeah, just
God damn it.
I'm gonna try and clean house. So, seeing even though they're like probably like just like stuck in place, just having all 3 of them there, Taraji will, yeah, I think I'll do it. She'll reach up into the sky, and essentially like a small light will like flutter from like behind her, like or from around her hair. Then another. These like little like dancing lights, almost like butterflies, like flutter around. And she will cast Spirit Guardians.
Oh, jeez. The spirits. Oh no.
Lego.
Okay. And they're like butterflies, right?
Yeah, like small, like little spectral, like lights, like of various colors. Yeah.
Various colors, you say? I've got something for that.
I should roll the damage. Hold on.
Well, they don't actually take the damage to their turn.
Oh gosh, yeah, I'll hold off then. That's pretty. Ooh.
A little smaller than that. Hold on. It's rounded at the edges, but we're just gonna ignore that right now.
Fine. It works.
Yeah. And then I will also drink a potion. That'll be my turn.
And now that creature takes that damage, you should have just rolled it earlier. I'm just joking. But it does actually take the damage. I'm not joking about that.
Well, shit. Hold on.
I didn't realize it was going next. Yeah, that motherfucker's dead. But the butterflies, what do they... I want to say they eat the flower, but how did they destroy the flower, these butterflies?
Essentially, like one of them will like almost like a land on it, and then it'll leave, and that spot is just gone, and then that'll just keep happening until it's just not there anymore.
Wow, so they all just come down and bits and pieces of the plant monster begin to disappear. And then once all the butterflies swim around it to the point you can't even see the flower anymore, they take off more beautiful than when they landed, and the flower's gone. So get the fuck out of here. She'll do it. It's your turn.
So, Sildur's weapon starts to take a new shape. The blades on the end begin to fold back into the shaft, and it begins to become heavier and cone-shaped as it turns into more of a lance. But in its center, it's hollowed out as he brings one hand to the front where the cone ends, where he's gripping it, and pulls back a new rod that has formed, and the sounds of machinery and turning gears as this bolt comes back, and he braces it on his hips and takes a very wide stance as he fires this gigantic cannon at the body snatcher.
All right, you explode your cannon with your gun lance. Whoosh! Crimson red weapon. That hits.
I don't think rage applies to this.
That's a range attacks. Range is only on melee attacks.
Yeah.
But your D6 does actually, but it says any attack.
Oh, I didn't.
Your zealot feature, not your rage. So, let me see here. 4, 6, 10 damage. You notice that all of that, when you go to attack him, you probably shoot at his body or its base instead of the center where Val is. But anywhere you hit it, you see Val's face pop out of, and the bullet smacks Val right in the face. You critical hit him. Go ahead and roll me some more damage.
Oh no.
Okay.
The body snatcher laughs. Now you see my powers. While Val is in me, I am safe. And anything you do against me will harm him more than it could harm anything. You're guaranteed to crit when you hit the body snatcher while he has a body.
Oh.
He's gonna... He's gonna start moving then.
You know them tier thieves be a little complicated.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of the players probably like Cake or somebody. There's a tier 3. Now I see it.
Yeah. I was like, this is too easy. Why is he melting so quick?
We're pretty awesome. Oh. Nope.
Yeah.
I wanna.
You want to hit him so bad, don't you?
I do. I
Well,
really do.
Maybe you can use the shove action or something. I don't know. Unless you remove Val from this creature, you're
can
only
I
hitting
shove
Val.
from?
No, you
Try-
would need to get closer. But my point is, there are ways to resolve this. But right now, if you attack, you're literally only going to hurt Val, not the creature.
So I mean, if I can do this, I can get there. But I mean,
Well, there's water. Unless you have a swim speed, it's difficult terrain.
yeah, that's what I was worried about. Damn it, man.
Wait a second.
Environment.
Are we forgetting what Mozart does?
Oh,
Oh,
wait, is he
yeah.
close to the ground?
Mozart's only 5 feet above the ground.
Oh.
So you're having a
What the
movement.
heck, Mozart? Why don't you tell me about this?
I told you guys before. I can't. Maybe if there's a way I can get like an aura always around me, but
I'll just give you a graphic, but I'll pause the animation so it doesn't slow the game down. But yeah, but I
You
mean,
can go on the. Oh, we can't because the macro. Never mind.
Mozart, just go ahead and describe what happens when he gets into your area. Because with Mozart, you could absolutely reach the creature.
Hell
you
yeah.
start to run. You start to run, and you feel like you can't quite get there, and then you just feel this like overwhelming force just kind of push you along with you. Like your steps are twice as fast, and like you're barely touching the ground as I just like push you along. Get up there.
So with the extra boost, Sildar's gonna come up and he's gonna like punch at the body taker to try and get Lord Val's face to appear.
Okay, so basically you're going to just try to grapple him out. That's how you're trying to remove him. So
Yeah,
with
I
your
was
next
trying to-
attack, you mean athletics check to try to yeet him out.
I think I have advantage on this right now.
You're
Because of
raging, you
rage.
certainly do.
$16.
Before if I tell you you fail or succeed, is there anything you can do to modify this roll? Or are you satisfied?
I mean, I don't think I have anything extra.
Okay, I just wasn't sure. This class features, other stuff, magic items. You get so close, but just like the DC to his needles was 17, you missed the mark by 1.
Oh,
I'm gonna use my bonus action to drink a potion since I can't grab them. And that'll be all.
All right, the Doom Creeper thinks he gets to play, but he's not allowed to have fun. Only the PCs are. Instead, even though he loses his turn, he still gets hit for that delicious Spiritual Guardians. How much damage did you roll earlier? We rolled the damn Spiritual Guardians once around.
Yeah, I think it was 14.
Got you. And it's a
Yep.
dex save. What kind of save is it?
Whiz.
Wisdom? Okay. But they're still entitled to Wisdom while stunned. Let me do that. It fails, so it takes full 14 damage. Hanging in there. This one is actually a lot more meatier than the rest of them. But the Doom Creeper loses his turn, at which point he is no longer stunned. This guy's also stunned, but he's outside the Spiritual Guardians. Lilith, you're up.
okay, just double checking distances here. Ah, damn it. It's just out of range. Oh well. Okay. So Lilith is going to wander around OD, going down the vine a little bit as she once again taps on her cage as it starts to emit dark energy again. Let me double check distances here. I think I might only have 30 feet actually on this. Just double checking. Oh, it's 60 feet, thank gods. As she goes ahead and focuses her energy into the cage and says, "The strings of fate eternally intertwine, each weave holding together life. Untangling the one made of vine, these strings need only a line." As the smoke seems to just trace itself onto the good old body taker and becomes like almost like spider-like silk. As it will need to make itself a save. Hold on.
Intelligence for that.
Yep. DC 15.
Okay, it fails a save, and you see that it's unable to have its host take the damage. You think you did affect the body taker.
All right. As these strings start to just wrap around the body taker, they seem to almost like stick into as many of the crevices and joints of this creature as it can to try to mess with its various nerve endings and such. As its next saving throw will have a minus 1d4.
Excellent.
With that, EOT.
It shoots its vines into the ground as it laughs. And they come out of the dirt beneath Lilith, Oldie, Mozart, and Sildor. 4 attacks, 1 against each of you. And unfortunately, your first time seeing the attack, he has advantage with this technique.
Got it.
So it goes against all of you. The vines split out. Top, down, left, right, you know the drill. That is a 12 at advantage against OD. That's a miss. That is a 20 at advantage against Lilith. I believe that hits.
Yeah.
You take 12 slashing. Furthermore, you're grappling and restrained, and he wheels you in. Give me a strength saving throw.
Minus 12 damage, grapple restrained, and I need strength save. Let's freaking go. Yeah.
So you get dragged through the dirt into the ground. You can see that the entire place is kind of like an anthill of tunnels, and he drags you underneath him. As so that you can see him vaguely come out of the ground and get stuffed on the side of the cabbage. Someone in some university yells, "My cabbages!" This is where they went. Next is Mozart, getting him critically hit as a 29, and that's without the advantage. Mozart, I'm gonna max one of these dice, whichever's lowest. 4 more damage, 15 plus 9. Okay, you take 24 damage. It's slashing if it matters. I need a strength saving throw as he is also wheeling you to him as well.
All right. I'm dead. No, I'm just kidding. 16.
There, buddy.
Unfortunately, like all his DC is 17. He drags you right next to him, which also moves your AoE area. And he just kind of right next to him, grappled and restrained. Finally, his final attack against Gildor is a 13. I believe that misses.
It does.
Now, maybe that wasn't too bad, but he's about to get his second turn when Val goes. This Shroom Squad is going to attack. That sounds kind of strange. Okay, I'll allow it. All right. 23 and a 23 will hit the Rune Army. 2 and 2. So they begin to swarm, bite at the knees, cut through some of the shields, chomp down on necks for 13 damage. That is the reduced values onto the army. They're starting to get very wear down, about halfway. Next is Lord Val. Unfortunately, not on your side at this moment. It just merely gives the creature, instead of legendary actions, a second turn. He is going to begin to absorb the nutrients out of anyone he has grappled. In this case, that's Mozart and Lilith. Both of you owe me a Constitution saving throw as your bodies begin to get their nutrients drained.
Yeah. Well, Bob.
Is Mozart within 10 feet of Lilith if they're both being dragged toward it, or are they where they are on the map?
Yeah, they're where they are on
Looks
the
like
map.
they're on the map,
Okay.
yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
Oh, Constitution saving throw. Let's go, buddy.
Good luck.
Oh, no.
no. Okay.
No.
Both of you guys lose 13 hit points. It's necrotic. I think one of you are shadow runes.
Yep, I am.
So you get 6, and then because you're resistant. I mean, you saved, and then you only take 3 because you're resistant. And Mozart, you take the full 13, and in both cases, 16 hit points are restored to the body taker itself. As it absorbs your vitamins.
That's not good. That's not good.
Nope.
Mozart, you're looking
Oh
rough,
my-
buddy.
Mozart is fucked up. And I can't hit this motherfucker because if I do, I would definitely kill this our buddy Lord Val. Okay. Okay. But it seemed like spells that only attack him seem to work, right?
Yeah, well, the ones that don't have a direct path, like Mentor or something. But if you were to even throw a fireball at him, it would probably just hit Val.
Yeah. Okay, so that takes out that.
Well, I guess that hit them both.
I'm gonna try to do all I can. Like my sword is just like, it's just like blistering red. Like, boom, boom. It wants to hit. It is pissed off at this plant, but I have to fight through that, and I just and I get my hand and I punch the blade of my sword, and when I punch the blade, I cast. Where is it? Where is that damn spell? I cast Toll the Dead.
Oh, nice. Unfortunately, the Taker's not actually injured at all because he just went back to max hit points with the heal. But you still have the 2d8 if he fails. Let me go ahead and give you, what is it? Wisdom? Yeah.
It's a wisdom, yeah.
I fail. I mean, unless your DC is lower than 9, I fail. So roll 2d8 damage against it. You did 8 damage.
Product damage. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. And I'm gonna drink I'm gonna use a bonus action to drink a potion. Greater is 4d4 plus 4, right?
Yes.
So 8 plus 4, so 12. That's not good. Damn. Okay.
All right, OD. Most of the minions have fallen, but there's still 2 alive up top. You that the rune warriors could probably handle below, but most importantly, this massive creature has proven that he's here to contend.
He looks toward the large bulbous creature, and then he looks up toward the cliff. He sees Taraji surrounded by her butterflies, but slowly being backed into the corner by these 2 creatures coming to. He weighs his option and jumps up toward Taraji and tries to sink his lance into the Doom Creeper. And as he stabs into it, you see from the gauntlet holding the lance, a flash of light erupts as I'm going to try to hit it a bit harder.
Excellent. What do I owe you?
Well, I'll roll the damage and then the DC 15 strength saving throw. Either way, he's taking 27, but this depends if he's pushed or I'm pushed.
Okay. You're pushed. So you explode the force, but you get thrown back. He gets an 18 on his roll.
I get pushed back, and then you see as he's falling back off the cliff, his boots glow, and it's almost like an after image, and he's right back to where he started.
Whoa.
And unfortunately, I don't have multi-attack, so that is it for me.
No. All right, the elemental army is going to perform 2 melee attacks. They're still above half hit points, so they get the swarm benefit of more than half. 19 strikes the top group, eliminating it. 26 slice the bottom group, eliminating it. A finally finish the swarms down below, so they use their movement to advance upon the body snatcher, yelling to Lord Val that they will get him out of there, or die trying. Speaking of someone soon to die, Taraji, take your turn.
Alrighty. Wait, what? So, let's see. I just gotta see how far this actually reaches. Otherwise, I'm running. But yeah, I gotta head down there. So me and the Spirit Guardians, we're taking a little trip. We're going down a little bit. Let's see.
You'd risk an opportunity attack, are you sure?
Oh, does he have 10 feet, that one?
Well, it's 15 feet, so you only just broke him when you got about over here. Remember, he was
no
attacking
problem.
you earlier from the tree, shooting down at you. Alright, so he tries to whip you one time with his decaying vine. A 14 question mark?
I will use the glove again.
Glove. It blocks the blow. Continue.
Alrighty, so without even looking, she'll just like raise, just hearing the sound of it, she'll just raise the glove up, and that same like spectral like shield will appear in front of her temporarily as she runs down, and then she will, using the twin spell, she will cast Healing Word on both Lilith and
Mozart.
Yeah, I almost said Drip King.
Shaman King.
Alrighty. Let's see here. First one for Lilith. Measly 6.
Better than nothing.
Then a 5 for Mozart.
Thank you.
You have an action, don't you?
I do. With that action, no. Yeah.
Got anything for ability checks?
For ability
Or not
checks?
ability, skill checks, my bad.
As a matter of fact,
No.
no. Yeah. I have guidance, but I have to like get down there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll just cast Sacred Flame. Or actually, would that hurt the gang if it hits the
No,
creature?
stuff like that you think would just hurt the creature.
Okay, gotcha. I'll give it a whirl.
Sacred Flame's whole stitch is that nothing really gets in its way. So he would try to maneuver Val in the way, but you would succeed. Now, Dex save coming your way. Oh, wow. That is a horrible save. I fail.
Haha, you take 4 damage.
So this is like a big kind of chonky plan. So I'm just gonna let you know that there's 1 through 20 on the D20, and my number is not any of those. It is lower.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
that is my turn. My shit started fucking up, so just end the turn for me. I guess I restart.
Ildor. Everyone's counting you, man. What you got?
Sildor, first off, his weapon is going to change back into the shield glaive, because that's probably more useful now. And then he's gonna fucking try to reach back in for Lord Val. You fucking, where are you?
Athletics versus this DC. It's catch DC.
24.
You find Val and you yank his body out of the body snatcher. One pull.
Does he look alive?
Yeah, you see him. He almost immediately regains his composure. gets to his feet. He's such a trained warrior that he doesn't like kind of assess what's going on. He just gets to his feet, draws his weapon, and gets back in the fight.
Damn.
Fucking don't do that again!
He just looks at you.
And he's gonna swing down with the last attack. With the glaive. Recklessly, why not?
That hits.
There's no rage damage on that because I was doing range, so there's another 2 damage on top of that.
Oh, it didn't include the rage. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
It's weird. It says rage stuff. All right. Anything else, big guy?
That will be all.
All right. The Doom Creeper realizes you've got some weight about you, OD. So it is going to rotate its features to do a different type of saving throw. Let's see here. It's got few options. Do we? So you survived the disorienting pedal. Rifle didn't work on your friend. Let's go for the wasting pedal. DC 15 Constitution saving throw, OD.
All right. Let's see. Ooh.
Gotcha. I'm just...
Yeah, I can't boost that up over 15, unfortunately.
All right, so the wasting pedal, the target must see on DC 15 saving throw or waste away for 1 minute. While wasting away, the target is vulnerable to necrotic damage and regains only half the HP when it receives magical healing. Target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on a success. Why is that important that you're vulnerable to necrotic? Because its decaying vine is necrotic damage. So it's going to attack you twice, hoping to do double damage no matter what, or quadruple if it critically hits you. Not if it quits its job, sorry. A 22 would hit you, I believe, question mark?
Yep, a 22 hits.
And then 12 misses you. On the 22, you would normally take, I rolled low as shit, 6 damage, but instead you're taking 12 necrotic damage.
He is unsteady, but he will try to kinetic counter that as his lance, almost of its own accord, lashes out and strikes at each of the vines.
Wow.
Don't add that force damage, but reduces it by 13.
Even vulnerable, he whips you. Your kinetic shield pops up, takes the entire blow. You take 0 damage. And the Doom Creeper wonders if his name needs to just be Creep. This little guy over here, disengage. Fuck it, I'm out. Give you a turn to possibly kill it. Right?
Oh, he doesn't need to disengage. I used my reaction, but I guess I'm not sure if he knows that or not.
No, he doesn't know that. He just kind of disengages and runs. I'll give you a round to kill him, or we'll assume he retreated. For the Swift Shroom. Lilith, you're up.
Okay. So would Lilith be able to reach her tome that's kind of just like on her side while she's being grappled?
Yeah, you can still reach around and grab stuff. It's just difficult, but you can do it.
Okay, got it. As Lilith is just being grappled by this body taker and there's so many enemies surrounding, seeing Sildor remove Lord Vow, she reaches for her book and flips it open with much struggle. Didn't want to use this, but as she focuses her energy, the shadow rune that's imprinted on her palm starts to emit smoke, and the pages from her tomb starts to fall off. As she says the words, "No matter how I stall you, you won't give up your attack. Do you just like the feeling of your sins crawling on your back?" As the pages start to disappear into ash and start to climb up the body taker's body, as I am going to need a DC 15 wisdom save or be paralyzed. With disadvantage, probably, because I'm guessing this thing is evil.
Oh yeah, it's pretty evil.
Actually, awful good.
Yes, it's actually a good motherfucker. No.
It volunteers in the orphanage every other week.
It gets a 14. It fails by
Oh.
1, but it fails nonetheless.
Thank the gods, as these ashes start to just like entangle around it, reforming into what seems to be like various people that this Mouther has taken out, and just like grip it down and start trying to drag it down into the earth.
The body taker completely becomes just induced by the weight of its sin. It begins to think about all the horrible crimes it's committed, all the bodies it's stolen and had their own friends kill, cut down, mutilate their own friends, but no more.
And with that, she's going. Would she even be able to try to drink a potion in this state? I think she's still technically grappled.
Yeah, but grapple doesn't stop from using your bonus action, so it's fine.
Okay. She also goes, gets a sippy sip of the potion.
I feel like you just kind of see it hanging out of your bag grappled, and you like use your mouth, pull up the cork and stuff. It's a difficult maneuver, but mechanically you're able to achieve it. The plant is up, but this bitch don't get a turn if he's fucking strong, huh?
Nope.
Motherfucker, no.
It can remake the save at the end of each of its turns.
So maybe it's broken free, but it still loses a turn. Wisdom, no, a natural 1. That motherfucker's.
Thank God.
He deep in them sins.
Good luck, buddy.
Could have won the church on Sunday, boy. And Lord Val just goes, "No one takes my body. No one." And he pulls his blade up, focuses down, closes his eyes, and he goes into 3 attacks with his Union Greatsword.
Oh my god, the sword.
Yep. You get to save every
Single time it takes damage, so.
Oh, I should have advantage, so I'll go for this first one. I'll do one more regular, just so we see if we
Just crit
can crit him. Yep. Now put advantage on. All right, thank you. So
Yep.
it gets a save every time it takes damage, so this first attack is going to be, is it paralyzed or stunned?
It's a paralyze, so
this
it's a
is auto
straight up crit.
Oh, jeez. If you don't know, Union
Yep.
Blade does 1 of every elemental damage, and then some other shit. Let's go ahead and roll that shit again. And the other dice, infinite form. Okay. So it does, on the critical, he is going to make one of those ones a 6, so it's doing 5 more damage. That's 11, 14, 25, 29 damage. Nice.
Oof. As Lord Val swings down his sword, you would see these paper-like people start to just like move around this thing's body to make it as vulnerable as possible as it pierces through.
Okay, roll me a d6, busy.
Got it.
Just add up the damage. Okay, he's going to turn one of these into a 6, so 3 more damage. So 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 24.
So every time that it takes damage, it has to do the save again.
Yeah, I made
so.
it failed to save. That's why I crit it again.
Okay, got it.
Just moving things along where you are, P. It does 53 damage to him. So now he gets another save since he took damage again. He's still freaking under the thing. And because Lord Val is a 12th level character, he gets a 3rd attack without needing to burn a resource. And he just lifts up his blade, swoops one more time, focusing the fire of the Union Blade, which element can constantly shift. And you see him spin around, and he looks at Sildor. Thanks. As the creature screeches and explodes. And he puts his blade away this time. He doesn't pull it immediately back out. This party's over. Wait, where's Miss Windu? Good job, everybody.
Lilith falls from its grasp and just like tries to catch herself, but stumbling a little bit on the rock as she holds what looks to be like the empty casing of her tomb before all the ashes of the pages just start to flow right back into it and reform the pages fully.
I guess that could have gone worse.
Could have gone a lot better too, you know. Oh, God.
Well, this is Mouther territory.
In my many years of fighting Mouthers, I've slain dozens. They've never been this dense to one place before. This is only a taste of what's ahead. We haven't even breached the mouth that feeds. So be prepared, warriors. And thank you for assisting my group.
Hey, teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Ain't that the truth?
We should probably check on OD. I think he's still fighting up there.
No, he chose that. Describe it. Fuck, I forgot about the Doom Creeper.
Oh, I thought they just like dissipated when. Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Strategy. Exactly what happened. So as you all assemble, the Sadist goes, this region is dangerous. We may be able to get away with a short break here, but nothing too long. Let me know if you want to make camp briefly. But if we stay for too long, then the army will advance without us. If you're ready to push through, then we can push through.
I still have a few spells if we need to get moving.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
your coat has blood on it.
Oh. No. No. And he'll start cleaning the coat, and then he'll really just like look this like pull out his photos from underneath his breast, underneath his jacket to make sure there's no gunk or grime or blood on them. And they seem they seem fine. Okay, we're good.
As Mozart tries to put on an act of not being all that hurt, Lilith just immediately takes hold of the cage on her side as it starts to emit smoke again, crawls up her arm across the shoulders, and onto her other hand as she taps it onto Mozart, and says to herself, Fate had given us life, now the twins are damned with spite. Even so, I will guard you and block out all the pain. I will dirty my hands so that your smile remains. As she's going to cast a second level Cure Wounds, just to help you out a bit.
He's kind of looks at you. He's kind of entranced by your words and just says, "Oh, thank you, Lilith. Thank you."
You need to take care of yourself a little bit better, big boy.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You've got a long ways to go.
Taraji will put her hand on Mozart's shoulder. She'll just say, "Get better," and just do the same thing.
Do you have anything to heal yourself? Eye patch guy.
Jim looks
I don't
at
remember your name.
Her name's Lord Val.
Well, do you have something to heal yourself?
Yes, I'll be fine.
Then I suppose we don't need to rest.
Yeah. Sits down, pulls out a wine bottle, just drinks the whole wine bottle.
They do say it's for the wounds on the inside.
He tosses it into the lake. And he sees that when he tosses it into the lake, it starts to boil and erode to nothing. Says, good thing none of us traversed the water.
Why is that?
It just dissolved that glass bottle.
Yeah, he points to the bottom being dissolved.
So she's
Oh,
like,
I see.
don't litter. Oh.
I was curious because when one got on my cloak, I noticed that some of the cloak is like a moth that got to it. So when he tossed the bottle in, dissolved it, he just confirmed it.
What a sick place.
Let's advance. And then you hear people shouting in the distance. King Kajani, Stone Warrior. And you guys see King Kajani riding on the back of a T-Rex. I caught it. I caught it myself. It's mine.
What?
This is my pet. And you see Lord Val put his hands over his face. All right, I'm gonna rejoin with my platoon. It looks like yours is heading down the left sector. Good luck. You just see the other army that you guys kind of split 3 ways to cover as much ground to find the most optimal safe route to the mouth that feeds. So Val leaves you guys. Don't worry, you'll have a chance to play with a lot of the big boys. As you guys advance, naturally, you guys can talk in RP, but you do eventually walk, and this is what you see. A blackened gate in the distance. Is this the entrance to the mouth that feeds?
You're asking us?
And what do your characters think? They're just kind of taking lead right now.
Do you think they have road signs?
Does this give off the same energy of what I used to guard back home?
It does, but to a far lesser. The only problem is you've kind of been feeling that ever since you stepped through the veil. It's a little stronger here, but you're also getting deeper in general.
Mozart would just get that big ass sword and put on his shoulder and say, "All right, don't need to stop now, right?"
I came here on a mission. Let's see it through.
Maybe we should try to make a map.
Maybe.
Seems as though something has found us instead.
When you guys are talking, you turn around, you see this salamander drop down from the ceiling in front of you. On his back. Hello, Captain OD. I've been separated from my party. I found yours. I suppose we should travel together till we find them. Beyond this door is a river of blood and fire. My salamander is immune to such charms. You can ride its back, so long as none of you are scorpions.
Is it blood mixed with fire or just blood?
It's boiling blood with fire in it.
On that Captain Daisho, we'll take you up on your offer, and we'll find your teammates as well.
Yes.
It looks to the rest of the party. Onwards then.
Taraji will pet the salamander.
I'm
going to.
Iguanus loves you.
Iguanus.
Indeed it is. Come on, get on his back. Will not burn him. Leave that which I see as enemies.
I would like to try the blood.
When we get to the river, you can.
Lilith gives the salamander a bow, and before going on.
Salamander is my rune, but it is also a living, breathing creature. Sheep. Whisper. Quick. It is my friend. And of course, I was picked as the master of my squad because I'm the furthest along on my team. I do not want my salamander to die. Not a normal summon. But it will do what it must, just like the rest of you. Iguanus goes, rah, rah. You guys move beyond the void, and then you see in the great expanse the real mouth that feeds just over yonder, about 700 feet forward, a massive pillar with thunder spewing onto the ground, explosions of fire, and from the dust you can see the grains turning into darklings. So as the rubble hits the ground, an army forms. Thousands of creatures, every lightning bolt, several dozens. The mouth that feeds is the structure, but it defends itself. And as this army of about 1,000 darklings runs chasing towards you, you could see the elemental army point their weapons forward. All the generals and all the commanders look towards it, and they look towards the bloody mound, this massive structure of the mouth that feeds. And you could hear Palm just go, "Get him!" And from behind you all, about 17 Mouthers fly past you with massive speed as Palm's army of insanely disgusting creatures take to the battlefield. And so will you. Next week, that's where the session ends.
Whoa.
Great
Hell
job,
yeah.
all.
We live.
But I was just
For
about to think,
now.
like, did we just create a time paradox? If Cersei just dies here, did we just make a time paradox?
Oh, he survived on your side.
I mean, yeah, did he survive in
But we haven't actually
later mission?
seen him in the future. So that's why I'm using people we haven't seen in the future. And then others I'm a little bit more careful for. Because of course I don't want to retcon stuff. And I also don't want plot armor to be a thing. So you'll mostly have people on your side that you haven't seen. Then occasionally we'll have people that you have seen. Of course.
Gotcha.
So we'll see. Because obviously they need to survive somehow if we're playing a game in the past. In any case, guys, I hope you all had fun. This is the very first episode of Thorn in the World. Good job, everybody.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great job, all.
Cool.
Everybody say goodbye and good night to the stream.
Goodbye.
Hello.
Goodbye.
All right, take care. You can catch us next Monday, 8 o'clock EST, right here for episode 2. See you later.
Donkey.